Okay, let's fucking stop dicking around already, huh? Let's fucking get this shit on the road. Woo! Welcome to Gore Screaming Show! I'm hyped. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I don't know anything about this game. Um, I was looking it up just a little bit, and then I saw that the English translation actually only came out like 3 years ago. So yeah, that's exciting. Oh, let's see. What does that say? Everything in the world are hated. The girl laughed. Hatred, despair, envy, murderous intent, pessimism, compassion, persistence, and anxiety. She was burdened with all negative feelings and muttered to herself, I want to be happy. I want to be happy too. And I'm going to be happy playing this. Alright, we're starting this bitch. Sky hangs high above. White clouds dot the vast blue expanse. Owing to the clear autumn air, the ridges of the mountains are easily visible from afar today, too. Kyoji. That's Mount Nishimori, and right next to it is the shrine. Below that is the forest park, and below that is the school. Ahaha. I guess I do remember this place. Oh. Pedaling his bicycle, Kyoji smiles as he gazes at the scenery sailing past him. This truly is the quaint countryside. These sights never change. This place hasn't really changed in the 3 years since he moved out. There are a few differences, but all of them are minor. A liquor store has been replaced by a convenience store, and there's a Chick's general store where the dry cleaners used to be on the street corner. Chic. There's this pedestrian crossing he always had to cross on his way to school. Back when he was a kid, he made up this little route that he could cross the road while saying on the white line it would be a good day. He made up this rule that if he could cross the road while saying on the white line it would be a good day. And indeed, this place is exactly the same. As his spirits lift a little, his legs somehow feel lighter as they pedal his bike. This is his first time in Korahito City in 3 years, and also his first reunion with the classmates in the same. He shouldn't think of this as transferring in, but more like he's coming back home. He might end up running into people he'd rather not see, but they were all brats back then. Things should be fine by now. Oh, drat! Gotta hurry! The minute hand in his wristwatch is nearly pointing straight up. Kyoji leans forward, pedaling faster. His backpack contents clatter loudly as he rides away. He remembers where his school is well enough. He doesn't have to check where it is again. Right. I just need to turn here, and then right. He just needs to take a turn on the corner with the brick wall and the telephone pole, and the school should be right there. That spot was where he'd often sneak out to play with his childhood friend. There's a sports ground there. It's soil red, brown, and large grove and iron bar is so high it's out of reach. A green chain link fence they'd climb over. And past that is the school Kyoji will be attending from day to day onward. Welcome home. He brakes hard. He just ran over someone. His bike's front wheel just crashed into something. He felt the impact for sure. He somehow manages to brace his legs, stabilizing his bike before it topples over, and then hurriedly turns around. I'm sorry, are you? But what Kyoji sees next leaves him dumbfounded in more ways than one. No way. There's no one behind him. And what's more... Huh? What? Kyoji scans his surroundings. What in the scenery of what should have been past that corner, the scenery Kyoji remembered so vividly, is gone. Where is he? There should be a road cutting between the rice paddies, past the concrete walls corner, and past those, the school building, or at least that's what he should be seeing. But somehow, for some reason, he seems to be on the mountain. Looking around some more, his eyes widened with shock. He could remember pedaling at full speed down the pavement just a second ago, but the corner he just turned around is gone. The mundane shopping district he'd sailed past just earlier is nowhere to be seen. In this place, all he can see is a narrow, slightly winding trail leading into the trees. A nearby gutter drain is clogged with dead leaves, cobwebs, and snake gourds hang from the branches. Everything is covered in vines that wind and coil around each other, forming green clusters. What the hell? Where am I? And where did that girl go? Is he going crazy, or maybe all the fatigue from moving in is starting to weigh down on him all at once? Yeah, that explains why he's in the middle of the forest all of a sudden. As Kyoji stands there perplexed, an odd sound reaches his ears. Feeling his bike seat lurch beneath him, he looks down. Oh, come on! No, are you kidding me? It's not that his bike seat has sunk down, his front wheel's tire is visibly deflating. Seriously, why is today so unlucky? From afar, he can hear the school's bell, the very school he should have been arriving on in time just a minute ago, lazily ring out. Just kill me. He's going to be late on his first day transferring in. Things literally can't get any worse than that. I wouldn't say that. His class homeroom teacher, Miss Endo, blinks a few times as he looks at Kyoji with a dejected and sedated sort of gaze that gives the impression he hasn't quite woken up yet.
Alright. As I recall, you used to live here in Kirihito, right?
Yes?
And you still managed to get lost in your way here?
Kyoji can only hang his head. There isn't much he can say in his defense if the teacher puts it like that. A ray of sunlight shines through the window, drawing a line of light over the linoleum floor and making the room oddly bright. What happened in those thick woods earlier almost felt like it was a dream now. In the end, he was able to follow the school's bell and find the school from between the trees. As it turned out, Kyoji was on Mount Nishimori, right behind the school. He didn't intend to go there, but he probably got so caught up in his thoughts that he lost his way and ended up there by accident. Or maybe, as embarrassing as it is to admit it, he was too nervous to fall asleep last night and basically ended up sleepwalking. I don't think it's that one.
If you lived in this town before, it means that roughly half the class should be your old classmates.
The teacher suddenly muttered this, pulling Kyoji out of his thoughts. He still has more to say, it seems. Yes. There are only two primary schools in the area, Korihito East, which is the school Kyoji attended a few years ago, and Korihito West, a municipal school. Both schools send their graduates to this high school. As such, if the school has an even mix of both school students, roughly half of Kyoji's class should be peoples he knows.
I'm sure you'll fit in just fine in class then. Do make an effort to get along with everyone.
Andu continues speaking with his utterly unmotivated voice, his sedated gaze fixed forward. Such familiar lines and hackneyed encouragements, the teachers are probably the same no matter where they go.
Transfer students tend to cause trouble, but since you already know half the class, I'm sure you'll be fine, yes?
Right. Kyoji nods vaguely, mostly because he can hardly reply any other way. The restless mutters he heard from the other side of the door settles down the moment he steps inside. Kyoji tries to put on an expression that conceals just how awkward he is, fixing his eyes on some random spot in the ceiling.
This is Jino-kun. He'll be your new classmate starting today. Jino-kun here used to live in the city until 3 years ago, so I assume some of you might know him. Do get along with him, everyone.
Kyoji scans over the class while Andu introduces him. Ah, it's Shinta! Gazing at him with a slightly bewildered expression, his old best friend, Shinta Maki. Kyoji feels his lips curl into a smile. He's still short as ever. He always did hate drinking milk. Kyoji's eyes continue scanning over the classroom, spotting more familiar faces. Oh, Akane! As a certain memory flashes in his mind, Kyoji furrows his brow. Akane Kazuyagi, another childhood friend of his. This isn't that surprising. It's a school in a small town, so there aren't that many separate classes. Kyoji averts his gaze before he can confirm what kind of expression Akane had on her face. Oh, Come on! I'm in the same class as Akane? Looking away from her, Kyoji's gaze falls on a gloomy-looking but familiar girl standing by the opposite window. He can't quite remember her, but he gets the feeling she was his classmate in the past too. Letting his gaze wander further, he spots an unexpected face seated near the back of the classroom. Oh my god. Wait, is that Misono-san? Seems to recognize Kyoji too, staring at him with round eyes. She's a classmate of his from his old school. She moved out about 6 months ago. What a coincidence. He never expected he'd run into her here. Just seeing someone he'd met relatively recently put him at ease.
Gino-kun, if you could introduce yourself, please.
And Andu's prompting, Kyoji steps up to the teacher's podium. I'm Kinji Juno. My parents had to relocate abroad because of work, but since I didn't want to leave the country, I decided to stay in Japan. That said, I think some of y'all already know me, but I hope I can get along with everyone. Me too, Kyoji. Despite trying to make himself seem disinterested, he's actually quite curious and excited as we walk past his new classmate settles into a seat. What? Oh, Kyoji. Kyoji's trying to act all cool, and he's going to a seat. Okay. I like how the teacher looks here. An hour passes by. It's English class. Quite a bit of it's already over since Kyoji was late, but thankfully the first class was Andu's. I'm sleepy. Kyoji stifles. He feels restless, as if wearing clothes he's not used to. Despite that, sleepiness washes over him all the same. It's the very definition of a dull class. All the teacher is doing is reading from the textbook. Kyoji can spot students all over the class peering unabashedly into their phones. The school Kyoji attended in the big city wasn't one of those high-level schools meant to prepare students for university entrance exams, but it did care a little more about discipline than this one. This school uses the same textbooks as his old one, and actually seems to be a bit further ahead on the material, but since all they're doing with it is dryly reading it out loud, he's not actually sinking in. All in all, the whole place just seems half-hearted. Whoa. Oops! That was almost bad. Everything went blurry for a second. Kyoji looks around the classroom, seeking a distraction from sleeping-inducing lecture. Oh. Akane, huh? Talk about awkward. His gaze wanders to Akane, who's sitting in the center of the class with her chin resting on her hands. Akane Kazuyagi. Remembering her puts Kyoji in a dark mood. He feels like he's been left in the most desolate place imaginable, late at night without a single star in sight. You're a doofus, Kyoji, and a sleepyhead. Ah, zip it already, and it takes a real doofus to call someone else a doofus. You just used some insult I did. Wait. You just used the same insult I did. That's called not being original. Seriously? Just shut up already. Besides, why are you in my place so early in the morning? Their parents were friends, so they became childhood friends as a result. They were always playing together ever since preschool. She was a spirited girl who'd always join in with his game, no matter how dangerous they were. And then... No! Stop it! I said stop! He wishes he could forget the way she looked back then, with her face scrunched up and her cheeks streaked with tears, but he can't. Akane, who was always so animated and tough, looks so frightened. And until that happened, he'd never seen her that way. Thankfully, none of the kids who were behind that incident were in this classroom. Honestly, Kyoji wishes he'd never see them again. I wonder if she still remembers me. Yeah. Kyoji gives her a sideways glance, his heart still heavy with anxiety. He hopes she forgot about it somehow. I bet she didn't, actually. It'll be so much easier for him if she has. When he was at the podium earlier, he got the feeling that Akane looked at him, her gaze as earnest as it ever was. Seems like Akane just looked his way. Her gaze flicked in his direction, like she'd noticed his own. But then she immediately looked away. She once again turns her eyes towards the teacher. It looks like she's biting her lip. Whoa, I like this guy. He has cool hair. lot of cool people here. Nobody has eyes. Or mouths. By the time class ends and break starts, Kyoji starts feeling as if some kind of invisible wall is formed around him. He knows half the kids in this class, so why does he feel like such an outsider? He understands that everyone else is aware he's here. He could feel their gazes pickling his back the whole time. So why won't anyone approach him? Awkward. He decided to just leave the classroom. With that thought in mind, Kyoji gets to his feet, but just then, one of the invisible walls crumbles. Hey, it's Akane. Let's see.
Hey,
Hi.
it's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Although he manages to reply casually, Kyoji's heart is very much aflutter. Ooh, my boy. Don't blow it. He hadn't thought Akane would approach him on her own. Not after what happened. Akane continues speaking, her expression a bit nervous.
So, your parents are working abroad?
Yeah,
Where?
America. Ooh, my favorite.
Really? Nowadays, aren't they worried about the terrorist attacks or something?
I don't know. They just said they'd be away for a while. Mom acted like they were going sightseeing.
Really?
Uh-oh. My boy, no. How are your folks doing? Well? And Sho and Satoshi, too?
Yeah, they're doing great.
Really? Their conversation comes to an abrupt stop. Yeah, she's not cool with me. I mean, it makes sense. After all, despite giving him a smile, Akane has clearly been averting her gaze, refusing to look him in the eye. She's just shy.
You're a doofus, Kyoji, and a sleepyhead.
She wasn't like this before. She used to always be familiar with him, almost to the point of violence. Although he knows it's only natural for her to treat him like this now, the realization that things have changed saddens him. It almost makes him want to scream out of frustration. Their conversation trails off again. The rest of the class didn't even try to hide the fact that they're staring at them. What are you looking at, bro? But just as Kyoji starts feeling like he can't stand this second longer, help comes from an unexpected source. Hey Koji, doing well? Yo Shinta, what about you? Kane looks somewhat relieved to see him.
I'll see you around.
Yeah. Kane walks off and Shinta had just stepped in to replace her. Shinta scratches his cheek with an utterly bothered expression. If you don't want to talk to me, go away, bro. You sure beefed up in the 3 years you've been away, Kyoji. I have? You? Yeah, it's kind of shocking, actually. It's like the air around you is all different, like you're someone else now. Kyoji was about to jokingly say that Shinta hadn't changed one bit, but he manages to swallow those words. Did I really change that much? Yeah, you look more mature. Like you're not from around here. You're imagining stuff. You think? I really wasn't sure if I should talk to you, you know? Similarly, Kyoji wasn't sure if he should approach them either. But did he really change that much over the last 3 years without even noticing? Is that why everyone's been keeping their distance? God, dealing with this is so annoying. Oh, but, I'm relieved, you know? This place hasn't changed that much. They opened some new shops, though. Yeah, but it looks like peaceful as ever. It looks as peaceful as ever. Shinta, who'd been speaking awkwardly until now, suddenly furrows his brows at that comment. What's wrong, Shinta? It's just that it hasn't really been that peaceful around here recently. Did something happen? Shinta brings his face closer, his expression a bit reluctant. There have been these wild incidents recently. Weird incidents? 2 girls went missing over the last 2 weeks. Huh? For real? One of them was a primary schooler and the other one was a high schooler. It was in the papers too. Haven't you heard about it? Kyoji shakes his head, which makes Shinta seem awfully proud for some reason. You call these weird incidents, but isn't it just kidnapping? Maybe it is, but no one has asked for a ransom. Maybe it's some freak who thinks he's pulling some kind of elaborate prank. I feel like I'm gonna say this, kind of a sad fact, but I feel like it's more rare for there to want like uh, a ransom for a kidnapping. You know what I mean? I feel like most kidnappings are just kidnappings. Like they just want to take somebody. I don't know. That's what I think though. I think so. I think this is just a regular old kidnapping. I think. Maybe it's some freak who thinks he's pulling some kind of elaborate prank. Did I already read that?
Could be. Either way, the way those girls went missing is pretty strange, and that's something that the papers and the news aren't talking about.
Just then, Shinta suddenly knits his brows.
Oh, she's looking this way.
Who?
That guy, Shadashima.
Oh, this guy looks so cool. Following Shinta's line of sight, Kyoji's gaze settles on a group of obvious delinquents, all of them who are staring at him. He looks like he's like 40 and like he's just recently had like a midlife crisis and like dyed his hair and like got got like piercings and shit.
See that guy sitting in the middle with the long face? That's Shadashima.
Yeah, what about Shadashima-kun over there?
Well, you know, the Shadashima General Hospital? He's the son of the owners.
Kyoji knows Shadashima General Hospital well. It's the only general hospital in town. He used to go there every time he caught the flu.
Let's just say there aren't any good rumors about him in this group. I just hope they don't try to mess with us.
Kyoji doesn't recognize them, so they probably weren't in any school Kyoji went to. They probably came from the other school. His gaze meets Shadashima. Shadashima directs a crooked smile at him before whispers something to his cronies, occasionally casting another glance at Kyoji. He can hear their snickering from the back corner of the class. Talk about nasty! Their attitude makes it clear just what kind of guys they are. They're definitely not the sort of people Kyoji wants anything to do with. You stay away from him, Kyoji. Standing next to Kyoji, Shinta looks up at him. There's a hint of concern in his eyes, but Kyoji just shrugs. I'm not doing anything to mess with Shadashima-kun and his friends, am I?
I guess not, but
no need to worry about it then. Kyoji says this confidently while raising his eyebrow.
Are you sure?
Shinta whispers, seemingly unconvinced, and scratches his cheeks again. The bell signaling the end of the break rings. Forget that. How about we go hang out after school? It's been a long while, after all. Kyoji almost says that to Shinta before he heads for his desk, but then he hears Shinta mumble under his... Oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with me? Shinta, before you go! Shinta, please, don't go!
You really are mature now, Kyoji. You're not the same guy I used to know.
Hearing this, Kyoji unconsciously retracts his hand he raised to tap Shinta on the shoulder. Things don't really change much by lunchtime. Kyoji munches on a bun he bought from the school store and leaves the classroom. I guess a 3-year gap is wider than I thought. Not as wide as your mom, heyo! Shinta keeps going on about how much he has changed, and people he'd hung out with all the time just 3 years ago are keeping their distance from him for some reason. Kyoji doesn't feel like he changed at all, so he's at a loss with how to handle this. This is weird. Aren't transfer students supposed to be kind of popular? Leaving his classroom, he leans against the corridor wall and heaves a sigh. Is it because he used to live here before? He lacks the curiosity-inducing flair a student normally has, and at the same time, he's gone long enough to make it hard to reestablish his old relationships the way they used to be. I think so. He had some close friends in his old school, of course, but so he never felt terribly lonely there. To begin with, he was never a very outgoing person. At least that's how Kyoji sees himself. Oh. Looking away from the stream of chattering, smiling students, he turns around and leans against the windowsill. A short distance away outside, he can see the slope leading up to Mount Nishimori. Mount Nishimori, huh? What just happened back there? He probably ended up there without realizing it because he was half asleep. That must have been it. But it felt so vivid.
Welcome home.
That faint voice whispering ticklishly in his ear. From a distance, he can hear the sound of the ball being kicked, accompanied by cheering. Sunlight is warm just like earlier this morning. The sky is clear and pretty. For some reason, Kyoji feels like a shadow is hanging over him and him alone. It reminds him of what Shinta and said about those girls going missing. What's that all about? He doesn't remember anything similarly dangerously happening back when he used to live here. When he saw the city on his way to school this morning, it looked just like how he remembered it. A regular countryside town, but time had passed. After all, so it has probably changed in ways he can't see. Fucking mountainscape just changes. Restless anxiety brews in Kyoji's chest. He may have returned to his town, but he doesn't really feel like it's his home. Just as his discomfort starts to overcome him, he hears something that hammers in the final nail into the coffin of his unease.
I told you, it's fine.
Don't be like... Oh,
Don't be like that. Come on, I'll carry it for you.
Casting a sidelong glance, he sees Akane carrying a large map, probably material for the next class, and the guy he saw earlier, Shadashima.
I said I'm fine. I can carry this much, no problem. Come on.
Shadashima takes the map out of Akane's hands.
Listen, how many times do I have to say no? You know what everyone in class is saying. Ah!
As she moves to take the map back from Shadashima, Akane's eyes settle on Kyoji.
Hey!
Oh, that's Kyoji. Hey! Shadashima's gaze darts between Akane and Kyoji before he jerks his chin.
What? You're friends with the new kid? Yeah, we used to go to the same school.
Akane answers the question a bit reluctantly for some reason.
Oh, right. The new kid moved back to this town, right?
Shadashima's lip curled up into a crooked mocking sneer. He then taps Akane lightly on the shoulder.
I'll carry for you this then.
With that said, Shadashima goes into the classroom. Seriously, what a nasty guy! Thinking about him makes Kyoji's stomach churn unpleasantly. Nothing has really happened between them, but something about this guy just pisses Kyoji off to no end. What, you're friends with him?
Nothing wrong with that, is there?
Akane looks up at Kyoji, still seeming uncomfortable about what just happened. I don't like this, but there was a little heart. I liked it on my reels. Kyoji doesn't say that out loud, but he certainly thinks it. He doesn't like this. He can't put his finger on what it is, but something about this whole situation just makes him unbelievably angry. His displeasure is probably showing on his face because Akane awkwardly looks away from him.
I need to get back to class too. I'm on duty today.
Oh, yeah? Akane turns around and bolts into the classroom. Oof! I'm tired. He made it through the day one way or another. Shinta went out somewhere as soon as school was out, and no one else really tried to approach Kyoji. Kyoji packs his things and hurries out of the classroom. He then makes his way to the back of the school. He wasn't sure where the bicycle rack was, so he simply left his bike in an off-site part of the lawn. He left it on the lawn. I gotta go to the bicycle store and get this thing fixed. His front wheel's tire went flat that morning, so he needs to get that changed. Yeah, I remember. Yeesh! A pretty annoying first day as they go. Feeling a bit dejected, Kyoji takes a turn to the corner and heads behind the school building. Because of the shade from the school building, the air is a bit cool here. The wind is picking up as well. As he walks around the thin shrubbery, Kyoji spots a group huddled around where he left his bicycle.
Is what I said, and then Kazuyagi went all red.
He hears that, what sounds like a bunch of cronies all cackling loudly. It's Shadashima and his gang! This must be what they mean by fate having a taste for irony. Those guys of all people are gathered here, of all places. Shadashima, who gives Kyoji the worst possible vibes, is currently sitting on the seat of Kyoji's bicycle, using it as a makeshift chair. Just now he mentioned Kazuyagi, which definitely meant he was talking about Akane. What do I do now? Leaving his bike here and going home isn't an option, but he can hardly barge his way into their group either, and besides...
Let's just say there aren't any good rumors about him and his gang. I just hope they don't try to mess with you.
Shinta was right. They definitely have an air about them that makes Kyoji want to stay away. If he were to appear before them and ask for his bike, they really are going to listen to him? Are they really going to listen to him? I just realized he's kind of tall, isn't he? He's like way taller than all the other character models. He's like not even fully on the screen. Nah, if anything, they'll just pick a fight. It's only his first day in school, so he doesn't want to get into trouble, so he can just wait this out and come back later. Shadashima and his friends keep laughing vulgarly the whole time for some reason. It doesn't seem like they've noticed Kyoji. Kyoji turns around and makes to leave when one of Shadashima's lackeys speaks up.
By the way, Shadashima-chan, right, the new kid, isn't he kind of annoying?
Kyoji stops in his tracks.
That's the same guy from the Kurahito East. It seems like something happened between him and Kazuyagi. Something? Like what?
Shadashima leans forward.
I didn't ask for the details, but they say they...
The guy has the look of some comic villain's lackey. Following that, another guy who looks even more like a villain's underling pipes up.
Whoa, seriously?
They all huddle together curiously. Their loud voices echo especially loud against the school's walls. Kyoji clenches his fist, feels like his body heat spiked up all at once. Shadashima grimaces visibly. When Kyoji steps out of the bushes, Shadashima and his gang all turn to look at him at the same time. One of them suspected that someone might have been there. Kyoji looks around as they stare at him with his dumb, slack-jawed expression before he says, "You're all pathetic!" Shadashima is the first to react. He gets off Kyoji's bicycle, which he'd been casually leaning against up until now.
What did you just say to me?
What, are you deaf? Are you too fucking stupid to understand what I'm saying? You're all pathetic. A bunch of douchebags is what you are. Shadashima goes red in the face. Kyoji sneers at him. Just don't make me say it over and over. I bet you hear it all the time as it is.
Really?
Shadashima slowly walks up to Kyoji, stopping a meter away from him. Seeing Shadashima up close like this really drives home how tall he is. He is tall. Even though Kyoji's generally considered tall for his age, Shadashima has a few centimeters on him. Just a few? Isn't that, like, not that big? A few centimeters like an inch. Looks like my legs are longer, though. Okay. After noting that oddly specific fact, Kyoji sneers at him again. The other boys follow Shadashima, moving in to surround Kyoji. Maybe it's because he's been in such a crappy mood all day, but this doesn't scare Kyoji. If anything, it excites him. Shadashima raises his shoulders in a swagger. Shadashima raises his shoulders in a swagger and then stuffs his hands in his pockets. Kind of a tongue twister.
Well, since you want to pick a fight that much, I'm sure you're not expecting us to let you go home whole, do you?
There's 5 guys here, Shadashima included. If they surrounded Kyoji, he'll be pretty much helpless. These guys are clearly sure they can't lose this fight either. Their expressions are all brimming with confidence. That much is obvious from the relaxed, leisurely way they move. If they gang up on me, I lose. So that means... Kyoji glares directly at Shadashima.
What?
Shadashima, probably feeling something ominous from the look Kyoji gives him, furrows his brow suspiciously. Sorry, buddy, but I can't walk away from this one with a loss.
Huh? The hell are you saying?
So I figure I should at least kick the shit out of the boss. Kyoji steps forward and slams his clenched fist into Shadashima's surprised face. After landing that first punch between Shadashima's eyes, Kyoji pulls back, only to immediately shock him right in the stomach. Yeah, let's fucking go, Kyoji. Let's fucking go. Shadashima was clearly unprepared for an actual brawl, because Kyoji's fist sinks into him with surprising ease. Shadashima sags forward with his hand still in his pocket. Kyoji gives him a kick in the shins, causing him to sink to the ground in a strange, almost comical pose.
Oh, ouchie! Ow! How you broke my nose!
Shadashima rolls to the ground in pain, grabbing his face. Blood dripping from his nose spills between his fingers. That's what you get for acting tough, you asshole. Caught in the moment, Kyoji rears back and kicks Shirashima in the stomach.
You fucker!
But at this point, Shirashima's lackeys, who until now were only staring in shocked amazement, finally spring into action. One of them reaches for Kyoji from behind, trying to twist his arm, but Kyoji twists the opposite direction and shakes him off. Oh, yeah, let's fucking go, bro. Having freed himself, he continues to turn around Shirashima. This time, he lands that kick into Shirashima's stomach successfully. Oh, he widely shakes off the guys trying to pull him away, continuing to blindly rain kicks on the other boy.
Ouch! It hurts! Stop!
What's his problem? This guy's fucking bonkers. Kyoji feels a blow on the back of his head. They manage to grab his arms for a moment, but then he shakes them off again, continuing to wail on Shirashima. Yes, let's fucking go. Beat this fucking asshole, bro. Beat his asshole up. He'll keep beating this guy up as hard as he can until he goes down. That's the only way Kyoji can come out of this situation with a win. As long as he can still stand, he'll beat Shirashima up. That's all he can think about. Kyoji's stomach churns with anger. There are punches raining down on him from every which way, but he doesn't spare them a moment of thought. He just keeps stomping and kicking, but then he slips over Shirashima's uniform. He realizes his legs can't support his weight anymore. His head suddenly feels heavier than it should be. Something hit the back of his head. He thinks he can hear the loud sound of metal hitting against something. Showers of sparks fill his field of vision. They pin his arms again, and this time he can't shake them off. His vision blurred. He tries to kick in their direction, but his kicks only cut through the air. No! Koji, get up! He rolls on the moist ground behind the school, kicks from every direction, jolts his body. He can't even feel any pain. His vision is dyed red with pure anger. Don't fuck with Kyoji. He just sees red. They are spreading these kind of rumors behind her back, and it's all his fault. The thought makes this angry surge endless through him. Oh crap! One of the guys kicking Kyoji lets out a feeble exclamation. The abuse suddenly stops.
Hey, what are you guys doing? Sensei, they're all over here. Hurry!
Kyoji cracks open his eyes. He can see Shirashima beside him, still hunched over with blood running from his nose. He doesn't look that injured, but his expression is full of pain, and he moans and complains the whole time. Heh, I won. You did. You sure did, Kyoji. Fuck those guys. Smile plays over Kyoji's lips.
I swear, you're a complete lunatic. Why did you pick a fight with those guys?
Kyoji was carried to the nurse's office, where he now has Akane staring him down. She's mumbling angrily at him while smearing disinfectant over his wounds. Let's go. Kyoji merely frowns at her, keeping his mouth shut. Naturally, he can't tell her why the fight broke out because he's the exact reason.
Come on! Tell me already! Why did you fight them? Answer me? Oh, okay then. Fine, if that's how you want to play.
After whispering that out, she gives him a glare and pours a huge splash of disinfectant over Kyoji's wounds. Ow! That stings! That stings! That hurts! Damn it! What are you doing? Are you crazy? The shower of disinfectant hisses over his wound, sizzling like a white froth. The scent of disinfectant, which is already quite thick in the nurse's office, becomes even more pungent.
You don't get to call other people crazy, you hooligan!
You've got personality issues, you know that? He isn't holding anything back with her. To begin with, she charged into the brawl while crying out, "Sensei, over here!" But she hadn't actually called a teacher. When he asked what that was all about, Akane only made a shameless expression.
Did you want to call me a teacher? You sure?
That was the extent. I'm kind of giving her the other voice. That was the extent of her answer. To be fair, Kyoji's position, a teacher showing up and then that would land him in hot water. The door to the nurse's office opens noisily. A moment later, a frowning girl walks in.
So, Aoi, did you find the nurse?
No, I couldn't find her. This girl's name is Aoi Namiki. Kyoji doesn't remember her very well, but she was in the class before he moved out. Apparently, Aoi was Akane's friend even back then. After being told that, Kyoji got the feeling that he might have seen her back then when Akane was out playing with other girls.
Oh well, I bet she's out for a smoke again. She keeps telling me not to smoke even though she's a heavy smoker herself.
The school's nurse was already out when three of them came in, which my god. The school's nurse was already out when the three of them came in, which is why Akane's been treating him herself.
She wasn't in the faculty office either. Where did she go off to?
Well, I can probably hazard a guess. She gets along with the English teacher, Endo-sensei, so she's either on the roof of the English studies room. What do you want to do? I can keep taking care of you, but if it hurts, I'll call a nurse.
Kyoji ponders her words for a moment before answering. Huh? Fine. You take care of it.
Yeah?
It just cuts and bruises anyway. I feel like you'll probably make for a crappy nurse. But if it's just light wounds like this... Kyoji looks down while he speaks, inspecting his wounds. Suddenly, he feels a shadow looming over him.
A crappy nurse? Really now?
Bloodlust hangs in the air. Kyoji looks up in fear as Akane, seeing how her face has screwed up in anger, a vein bulges across her forehead.
I'll teach that ungrateful mouth of yours a lesson!
Chill! Ow, stop it, chill! She pinches Kyoji's cheeks as far as it will go.
I didn't know cheeks could stretch that far.
Aoi, who's been sitting quietly in the corner, whispers like she's impressed. Did I skip something? I hope I didn't. With Kane's violent treatment safely behind him, Kyoji walks home. That was weird. That was such a weird transition. Akane looks up at him, exasperated.
You got into a fight on your first day of school and wrecked your bike on top of that.
Aw, shut up! Kyoji frowned sullenly. When he returned to the back of the school, he found his bike as a shadow of its former self. Its spokes were bent and its seat was missing. Something probably happened to it in the brawl. Oh, did they hit him with his bike, bro? Is that what the metal thing was? He calls something hitting his head quite hard. He doesn't want to imagine it, but they probably threw it at him. Yep. Thankfully, his bike is of the folding type, so it's relatively light. It seems it didn't hit him on that hard. He still can't believe he got away with just a few bruises. However, the bike ended up getting smashed against the wall. The impact left a skid mark on the school's building. Damn. That's crazy. But, no, okay, now we're here. But man, I saved up all my allowance for months and just bought that bike. You know, this sucks. Akane only shrugs indifferently as is grumbling.
That's what you get for being reckless. Hey, really, can't you tell me what happened? Come on, Kyoji.
Kyoji tightly purses his lips even if she asks nicely. That's the one question he can't answer, especially not to her. Akane crosses her arms and glares at him.
Grr, you stubborn oaf! You've always been like that. Like back in primary school, the teacher always told you not to leave the margin during class. You'd always insist on not putting it in your bread and just leave it in one side. Then the teacher just gave you
a margarine? Whatever.
For lunch and nothing else.
Why are you digging that old story up? What does that have to do with anything?
It does too have to do with this. I'm saying you've always been stubborn.
Kyoji points indignantly at Akane. Indignantly. I mean, that teacher was crazy. I get telling kids to finish what's on their plate, but giving me just margarine for lunch, that's not a meal. They basically put a piece of cold lard on my plate and told me to eat it. Do you have any idea how gross that is?
Well, maybe they'd forget if you would just say you're sorry, but somebody spent all lunch eating it and crying like a baby.
Oh, just pipe down already. And stop bringing up stories from when I was a kid all the time.
I mean, you haven't grown up at all. You got bigger, yeah, but you're still a kid on the inside.
Akane laughs openly. Kyoji was about to retort, but her laughter drains all his anger away. His shoulders slump. Yeah, you haven't changed either. Thank goodness. She was so awkward with him at first. He couldn't help but feel like she was still troubled by what happened. Seeing her like this is a huge relief. You really get along with Jino-kun, Akane-chan. Hearing that mumble from behind them, Kyoji and Akane both jump. He forgot, but yeah, Aoi is here. Akane waves her hands in a flustered manner.
No, that's not true.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that was Akane. Or Aoi. My house is that way. Bye.
Yeah, bye, Aoi. See you tomorrow.
With a small nod of the head, Aoi walks into the side street. Her steps look more like she's dragging her feet. This is like joy and sadness from the hit movie Inside Out. Kyoji and Akane find themselves looking at each other. Namiki's really, kind of gloomy.
Yeah, well, she's not the most cheerful person, but she's a good girl.
Right? So, yeah, let's get going.
Yeah.
The two of them go quiet all of a sudden. Every now and again, they say something like they just remembered, but it doesn't last. It's not because they're uncomfortable around each other. Not exactly, anyway. It's more like they're embarrassed. They keep walking like that for 10 minutes when Kyoji suddenly stops in his tracks. Huh?
What's up?
I think my guardian's here to pick me up. As soon as Kyoji says that, a drawling voice reaches their ears.
Kyo-chan, welcome back.
What about work?
I finished up early today, and I just got back from buying some box lunches.
Huh? What? You said guardian. Do you mean... Oh, that's Kane. Kane starts at her with round eyes, only for Yamiko to call out.
Huh? Oh, no way. Is that little girl, little Akane-chan? Ah, I knew it, that flirty voice. It's Himiko Oni-chan.
Oh, I said that at the same time.
Oh, don't call my voice flighty. That's mean.
Kyoji and Akane exchange another Kyoji and Akane exchange another gaze and slump over in defeat. This was probably her trying to look angry, but it's not the slightest bit unnerving. Sorry, Yakamoto-san, you're not fooling anyone.
Yamiko?
Akane furrows her brow, puzzled. Oh, right, you don't know. That's her pen name.
Her pen name? You see, I work as a writer for the occult magazine under the pen name Yakimoto Satima.
I gotta give her a different voice, I'm sorry. Akane looks at Yamiko, surprised by her proud explanation.
Yamiko Saitama? That's such a weird name. What's wrong with Himiko Yumikawa?
Miko's hand slithers over to Akane's with a speed one would never imagine from her slow, gentle way of talking. With her hand clasped over Akane's mouth, she narrows her eyes. Akane-chan!
I don't like that name. I really hate it. Capiche? And if you want to know just how much I hate it, I hate it as much as a scumbag of a man who wouldn't bathe in 2 weeks, fell into a dirty ditch, and is a molester on top of that.
I would hate that too. What's with this awful specific example? Himiko Yumikawa, also known as Yamiko Saitama, with a real name that sounds like a stage name from a musical trope and an infuriatingly cliche pen name. This young lady is a writer from the occult magazine Abraze. On top of that, she's his mother's cousin. She's too young to be his aunt, but too old for him to consider her an older sister. As such, she comfortably fits into the role of a friendly older cousin. According to her, when Kyoji was little and lived here, she often dotted on him. The dotting part is entirely according to Yamiko, though, but from his perspective, nothing good ever comes from spending time with her. Yamiko moved out of this town when she went to college, after which she started working on a major publisher in the big city. During that time, she fell out of touch with the family. But when Kyoji's household moved to the same area as Yamiko because of her father's job, they started talking again. And then, about a year ago, she quit her job and that big publisher for whatever reason and became a writer at Abraze, an underground magazine that's third-rate at best. just as Yamiko decided to move back to Kurito City to investigate some story she was curious about, Kyoji's father was relocated abroad. It's a bit rude. One thing led to another, and now Yamiko has ended up as guardian. Ignoring Kyoji's quip, Yamiko moves her face closer to Akane's.
You see, from now on, would you be a doll and call me Yamiko Oni-chan instead of Himiko Oni-chan? If you do, I'll be real sweet on you, that's a promise.
How horrifying. She's smiling, but that smile doesn't extend to her eyes. Akane nods desperately like she's crackling under pressure. Maybe Kyoji's just imagining it, but he thinks he can see her breaking into a cold sweat.
Oh, so you're gonna call me Yamiko Oni-chan? I will.
Finally freed, Akane replies while grasping for air.
Oh, I'm so happy. Go on then, try it, go. Yeah, Yamiko Oni-chan. Yes, very good.
Yamiko claps her hands together with a very satisfied smile. Akane's house is a short walk away from Kyoji and Yamiko's apartment. Akane says with a somewhat tired demeanor that she'll see him tomorrow before him and Yamiko go to their apartment. After finishing the box lunch Yamiko got him for dinner, Kyoji goes back to his room. It's been 3 days since he moved in. Although he's organized his things to some extent, he doesn't quite feel at home yet. It's like he's wearing a set of clothes he's not used to. Still, he'll eventually get used to this place soon enough. Ooh, cut that. Kyoji reaches for the guitar sitting beside his bed. This is his personal treasure. This was the first thing he unpacked from his luggage after coming here. He sits on the floor, leans against the bed, and strums the guitar strings. That's what you do when you play guitar. His amber-colored acoustic guitar is worn with use. As he runs his fingers over its curved body, a smile blooms over his lips. He worked part-time during school break, hoping to buy an electric guitar, but then a relative from his father's side gave him one. However, it turned out to be an acoustic guitar, not an electric one like he wanted. Unfortunately, his father didn't know the difference between an electric and acoustic guitar. Just be grateful, bro. Because of that, his father scolded him, telling him not to be selfish. Yeah, dude. It was still a guitar of some kind, though he started practicing with it soon enough, he grew attached to it anyway. Despite how he had complained about it at first, nowadays, merely holding it puts a smile on his face. He's definitely come to appreciate it. He takes out a practice booklet from under his bed, then starts trying to play some exercises from it. He only recently gotten used to how hard the strings are. Now that the skin on his fingers has gotten tougher, strumming the guitar doesn't make his fingers bleed like it used to. Kyoji. Oh. I'd really like to just jam this thing sometime. What? I'd really like to just jam this thing sometime. What does that mean? He imagines himself hooking a guitar up to an amplifier like in a music bar. He wishes he could just play on the streets, but the songs he's itching to play aren't exactly nice and peaceful. He wants to play songs that have hard vocals and accompanied by bass and drums. They're the kind of songs that hit all the way down to the core until the listener goes dizzy and their thoughts go blank. I'm going to play that in a bar? He could only imagine how good it would feel to play that sort of music under the spotlight, playing a roaring audience in the dark. Just then, he hears a gentle knock on his door. Come in. Kyoji replies, taking his fingers off the string. Yamiko opens the door and enters 2 cups of pudding in her hands.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Was I too loud? Were you working?
Oh, it's fine. So long as the neighbors don't complain, you'll have nothing to worry about.
Saying this, Yamiko holds up the pudding.
I got you a snack. You want some?
Yeah, thanks. Leave it right there. Yamiko nods before taking a seat next to Kyoji.
In any case, this might be rude of me, but the way you play guitar is very...
You're gonna say I suck, aren't you? Kyoji can't help but poke fun at himself.
I wouldn't say you suck. You're just a little inexperienced, unskilled, awkward. You have room for improvement, a bit clumsy, maybe.
It makes me pretty depressed when she describes it with that many words. Japanese sure is a rich language.
Japanese sure is a rich language.
My bad. Yamiko laughs unapologetically. It's fine. I'll get better before you know it. His words are filled with resolve. That's right. He's bound to get better someday. I like Kyoji. I like that attitude, Kyoji. You're a cool-ass dude. You stand up for what's right, and you stick with it. You're a cool-ass dude. You're a cool-ass homie. It's not that he's seriously considered becoming a professional, but he definitely wants to get at least a little better.
Boys will be boys.
Yamiko vigorously ruffles his hair. Hey, what are you doing?
Look at you getting all indignant on me. So cute.
Stop patting me on the head already. After hugging Kyoji like a stuffed toy for a while, Yamiko finally pulls away from him, seemingly satisfied.
Looking at you reminded me of an old friend of mine.
A friend?
Yes, a friend of mine since I was little. He was really good with the guitar. Maybe you two would get along if you met.
He's also like these kinds of things.
He also liked these kinds of things, too.
Saying that, Yamiko takes out a giant monster figure from one of Kyoji's cardboard boxes. Collecting these is another of his hobbies. No way, I do that.
Oh, yeah. They all have these nasty faces. Say, why do you keep collecting ugly ones?
I like them. They're model cooler than the heroes, right?
They are?
It's a matter of taste. What about the pudding, though?
Oh, right. I almost forgot. Let's eat it.
She noisily rummages through the bag from the convenience store that she brought. Yamiko can cook at all. Yamiko can't cook at all, or rather, it's not much that she can't, but that pretty much everyone she knows has gravely warned her to stop it before it results in casualties. On top of that, she is fundamentally a very lazy person, so she ended up developing a strange taste for convenience store food. She happily takes 2 small cups out of the bag.
I got these from the convenience store on the corner. They said it's a new flavor of the autumn. Kyoto matcha and chestnut with mixed vegetables.
Kyoto matcha and chestnut is one thing, but vegetables? He examines the transparent pudding cup. Indeed, he can spot weird, colorful objects resting at the bottom. Why do you keep buying these weird, gross flavors all the time?
Well, that's obvious. They're always getting discontinued, so you have to try them while they're available. What if they get taken off the shelves before you find out what they taste like? You'd always regret it.
No, I didn't think I would.
Oh, but you would. Let me tell you. One August 3 years ago, I didn't eat that curry yogurt when they had it on sale, and I regret it so much to this day. Believe me, you will regret it.
Yamiko clasps her hands together, offers up thanks for her meal, then peels off the pudding lid. Ah, fine! Koji follows her example, directing the sidelong glance at his eccentric guardian as she does so. Why did Yamiko quit her job anyway? His parents never told him, and neither was Yamiko. What? Neither has Yamiko. He remembers getting the impression she enjoyed her old job. She might enjoy her current job even more. But objectively speaking, her old job was definitely the better job. Oh, by the way... Yamiko, who'd been eating her pudding quietly so far, suddenly speaks up with her slow, saccharine voice.
I just got a call from school earlier, Kyo-chan. Did you really beat someone up?
He figured she'd find out about it sooner or later, but her confronting him about it still makes him a little uneasy. He'd beaten Sadashima so hard he couldn't walk. Whoa! Holy crap! These goons had to carry him as they ran off. That's crazy, dude. That's insane. There's no way. They probably tattled on the teacher after that, too, making sure to twist their story to put them in a good light while incriminating Kyoji.
I bet if I had to guess from all those bandages, your good friend Yamiko here assumes that it's more like you got ganged up on.
I beat the crap out of their leader, though. His pride urges him to stress that fact.
So what happened?
Yamiko casually brushes aside his bravado and cuts straight to the heart of the matter. Koji frowns before reluctantly saying, I can't tell you.
Oh my.
But they're real assholes, you know. They definitely had it coming.
I see.
She nods with surprising ease, showing no sign of inquiring any further. She drops her gaze to her pudding and resumes to heartily dig into it. Is that it?
What do you mean?
It's just, I thought you'd press me more about it.
Well, I know Kyojo-san, and you know I wouldn't stick your neck into trouble for no reason. If you had a fight with someone, you probably had a good reason to do it, and there were a lot more guys than you were there, right?
Did I say there were? Koji asked, then, taken aback, Yamiko just wags a finger.
You said you beat the crap out of their leader. That means you were up against a group. And you let me tell you, I hate mean kids like that, so I really don't know what happened, but I think you did good.
Kyoji's lost for words. Yamiko is like, well, maybe not a parent, but she's certainly his guardian. He had expected her to take him over the coals about this. Seeing Kyoji's surprise, Yamiko narrows her eyes.
Oh, but let me tell you this. If you actually end up doing something naughty, you'll be getting a very big scolding from me, so you should keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yamiko shrugs before giving him a slightly sarcastic smile.
But that said, tomorrow's definitely going to be a long day, huh?
How come?
Oh, that's my business. Don't mind me. Forget all that. But, boy, Akane sure grew up in a cutie, isn't she?
She did?
What? You don't think so, Kyo-chan? That can't be right.
Kyoji screws up his face in a grumpy expression before shoveling a spoonful of pudding into his mouth.
She was such a tomboy when she was little, too. Girls sure do grow up fast.
That's definitely true. She acted like a boy when they were younger. But at some point, her body became curvy without gaining much height, making Kyoji stand much taller than her. What? Okay. He keeps telling himself that it's only been 3 years, but it turns out 3 years were plenty to truly change them both. Yamiko is the first to finish her pudding. She cheerily gets to her feet.
Well, that was dessert, so I'll get a bit more work done and go to sleep.
She turns around and leans forward, pointing an index finger at Kyoji's nose.
Yo-chan, you go take a bath and head to sleep, you hear? You can wash your own, because I don't when coming to help you.
Kyoji nearly coughs the pudding out of his mouth. What? Why would you say such a thing? No one asked you to do that.
I mean, I figured you'd be eventually asked for it. I figured you eventually asked me for it, so I'm putting my foot down here and now.
What does her shirt say? New wave of Death Nico metal? That's cool. I'd never ask for that. Oh, and for the love of God, never buy this kind of pudding again. I can't tolerate it being green and having chestnuts and bean paste, but does this thing really have vegetables in it? And I'm pretty sure I had chamonmushi in it too.
Oh, come on, it tasted good.
Her statement shocks Kyoji to the core. I can't believe it. Do you really eat this kind of stuff all the time?
I have a tongue of steel and an iron stomach.
Yamiko boasts with her hands on her hips. I don't understand you. Fine, just go away. Good night.
You're no fun.
Yeah. Excuse me for being no fun. You got work to finish, right? Good night.
Don't forget to take a bath.
They've known each other for so long that Yamiko isn't the slightest bit offended by Kyoji's rude remarks. She waves goodbye before leaving his room. Geez, she's always such a weirdo. Grumbling to himself, he looks down at his cup of pudding where it sits on the floor. Kyoji, you're losing points for me, bro. What am I supposed to do with this gunk? Would she let him get away with just throwing it away? What the fuck was that? What was that? What the fuck is happening? I'm confused. Okay, and I am back. Kyoji went back to school the morning after, of course. His bike was trashed during the brawl, so he left it where it was behind the school. That meant he had to walk to school, but he isn't late. There's no reason he shouldn't be allowed to go into the classroom either. But he just can't bring himself to do it. After all, so much happened yesterday, his classmates bound to stare. And then there's Sadashima himself. Kyoji can't just walk in there without a care in the world, can he? I mean, damn, what am I going to do? He never imagined being in this kind of trouble at his second day of school. But standing here won't change things. The students walk through the hall are staring, which makes him realize he looks strange from merely standing there. Okay. He takes a deep breath and steels himself before going inside. Hey! Whoa! Feeling someone suddenly patting him on the back, Kyoji jumps. Shinta! Don't scare me like that! What are you doing, man? Come on, let's go in. Shinta pushes Kyoji back with one hand and throws the door open with another. Sup, guys? Ohio-san. Ooh! The voices call out cheerfully from every direction. Kyoji knows they're directed at Shinta and not at him, but it does serve to lighten the atmosphere. As Kyoji heads towards his seat, the guys sitting in the seat next to his, nudge him with his elbow.
Yo, Koji.
Hi. Koji recognizes him. While they weren't in the same class, they were in the same school 3 years ago. He gives Kyoji a friendly smile, scooting closer to him.
I heard about it, man. They kicked you in Shadashima's ass.
They say you kicked Shadashima's ass. No,
I hear about it too. You're really strong, Gino-kun.
The girl sitting in the opposite side merely chimes in. He doesn't recognize her face. She's probably from Kirito West.
So what happened?
No, it was, before he realized it, a small crowd of his classmates has formed around him. He's taken aback. This is almost the exact opposite of how they were treating him yesterday. Just what happened? You beat up the guy everybody hates. Shinta pops up at his side and starts explaining with a grin.
What happened yesterday after school? Shadashima crossed the schoolyard to go home, you know, with that place is full of people doing club activities. Well, he and his group crossed right through the middle of the schoolyard, and while saying stuff like, fuck the new kid, and hang on, Shadashima-san.
I guess everyone knows what happened then. All the people Kyoji nod in response.
Honestly, I'm kind of relieved.
Me too, actually.
The group around him starts laughing together. It's a strange feeling. Just yesterday, everyone was keeping their distance from him. The difference between then and now is like night and day. A bit confused, Kyoji asked a question. Do people actually hate Shadashima or something?
Yeah.
Some of the girls say he's kind of hot, though.
He's annoying. He acts all tough because his parents run for the hospital. Just because your parents are important doesn't mean you're a big deal, you know.
Didn't I tell you? He's got a bad rep.
Shinta shrugs. I see. In other words, Kyoji became a hero overnight.
You should watch out, though, Kyoji. Shadashima does have a lot of money, and he has a lot of flunkies, too.
Yeah, he walked around like he's some kind of Yakuza boss or something.
He acts all nice in front of the teachers, so they love him. And he's got the Sandman wrapped around his little finger. Sandman?
She meets out our homeroom teacher. You know, his classes are so boring they can put you to sleep, so Sandman.
Everyone else nods excitedly. So Kyoji wasn't the only one dozing off yesterday. That said, today is completely different than yesterday. He didn't think that brawl with Shadashima would change everyone's opinion on him that much. This does make things easier for him, but the change is so sudden that kind of shocking. While Kyoji knows he shouldn't let his feelings show, he can't help but crack a wry smile.
But you know, Gino, you haven't really changed much. I'm kind of relieved.
Yeah, same. When I saw you yesterday, I didn't even recognize you.
Did I really change that much? Really? How? No matter how many times he hears this, he certainly doesn't feel like he's changed.
I mean, you always had this image of a brat who always got into trouble.
Yeah, you always climb trees with Kazuyagi only to get stuck in one of the branches.
And wait, weren't you the one who stuffed the container of the nurses used for the stool examination full of curry during lunch and made her cry?
Oh, hold on. Let me read that again. Weren't you the one who stuffed the container the nurses use for stool examination full of curry during lunch and made her cry? Stool examinations. You swapped out shit for curry? What? Wait, am I wrong, bro? What? Give me a break. Try to forget about those kinds of stories, would you? Kyoji drops his shoulders and everyone around him laughs merrily. As he glances away, he spots Shinta grinning happily at him. What?
I'm relieved too, you know.
That's what I should be saying.
That's what I said.
Feels like things have finally settled down. The invisible wall around him has finally completely disappeared. Going back to how things were 3 years ago was easier than he expected. Shinta drops his fist into his palm as he just remembered something.
Oh yeah, I only told you half the story yesterday.
What story?
You know, the ones about the girls going missing.
Oh, right, what about that?
Well, you see,
Shinta drops his voice to a whisper.
one of the girls who went missing lived in my neighborhood. She's a little sister's classmate, too. My kid sister's not that close to her, but her friend walked home with that girl, and apparently they were together right before the girl went missing.
What? So this is about a friend of your little sister's friend? When Kyoji says that, Shinta cocks his head.
Yeah, but what about it?
What? I mean, saying a friend of a friend told you something makes it sound pretty phony. Shinta frowns.
Man, that's mean. It's true, I'll tell you. I mean, I heard this from the girl who was there when it happened. She came over to play with my sister.
Before the two of them realize it, the whole group around them listening to Shinta's story.
And that girl said that girl who went missing was actually completely normal right before she went missing. So the girl that went missing and my sister's friend said goodbye and parted ways. As soon as they took a turn away from each other, she heard that girl scream.
What? Really? Just like that? Shinta lowers his voice a bit deeper, causing everyone else to lean in close to listen. Just then it happens. Oh, this is a new voice. I don't know what voice to give her. Cut this part out. I'm gonna start thinking of some stuff. Okay, this is a girl, obviously. I have too many already high-pitched voices. Um, I'm gonna sip my coffee and think about it for a second. Oh, could I do a Redditor voice?
You there, new kid.
All right, cut this part out. This is so boring. I have no idea what voice to give her, and it's not fun to just be sitting there listening to this. So I don't know. I need like a legible voice. This is probably one of the main characters. Oh, I'll give her a scientist nerd voice.
You there, new kid.
An oddly theatrical voice cuts into Shinta's story. The crowd around Kyoji parts at once. From the other side of the room, a group of 3 students with particular appearances approach.
Oh my goodness. Here we go again.
Shinta mumbles, his voice strained with fear. Kyoji watches the trio with puzzled eyes. What's up with them? They look like they walked out of a comic book. That's mean, bro. One of them is an obese girl carrying a bread roll in one hand. She looks gross. Even though it's chilly outside at this time of year, her porcupine face is covered in a layer of sweat. The second girl is the polar opposite of the first. She's underweight and bony, but like the first girl, Kyoji can't help but think she reeks of sweat. The third girl, who's the one who shrilly called out a moment ago, is actually a little cute, save for her weird hair ornaments that endlessly clink and jingle. Somehow, her every gesture feels oddly exaggerated and theatrical.
Who are they?
Oh, that was Kyoji. Kyoji asks them in a whisper. Shinta mumbles in response.
The girl with the glasses is Marina Ichinose. The skinny one is Mami Nikaido. And the big one is Mai Mitsuhashi.
All three of them are
Shadashima's groupies.
Hey, Shinta, you twerp! Why are you whispering like a rat?
As soon as Marina says that, Shinta's eyebrows fly up.
Twerp? What do you think you are, huh? Who do you think you are, huh?
Shinta, chill. Anyway, yeah, you wanted something? Can I get you fine, beautiful ladies anything? Kyoji places a hand on Shinta's shoulder to stop him from laughing at the girls. He then turns his eyes to Marina.
I'm glad you asked, Mew.
Mew? Ignoring the way Kyoji just stiffened in surprise, Marina sweeps her hand with grandiose movement like a baseball pitcher and thrusts her index finger toward his face.
We've heard that the new kid punched our beloved darling Shadashima-sama. Do you care to explain yourself? Because depending on your reasons, we may have to punish you.
Well, she presses towards Kyoji, forcing him to retreat in fear. No, is that Mew? What is that Mew supposed to mean?
Now's not the time to talk about that, Mew. That's right. What's wrong with saying Mew?
The fat girl replies, sputtering spit every which way as she presses toward him again. Despite her appearance, her voice's high-pitched squeak.
Marina-chan's Mew is cute.
Or what are you trying to deny her invulnerability?
What are you trying to deny her invulnerability? That's terrible. The new kid is bullying me. Boo-hoo!
A truly inescapable chill of terror runs down Kyoji's spine. Fine, say Mew, I don't care. What about Shadashima?
Right. I don't know why you punched our Shadashima-sama, the poor baby. What did Shadashima-sama do to deserve that? That's right. What did he do? Go on, talk.
Everyone's gazes are aimed at Kyoji. They're all curious about what that to do. Kyoji remains tight-lipped, though.
Oh, I know.
Marina arrogantly plants her hands on her hips and looks at Kyoji.
You're just jealous of Shadashima-san, aren't you, Mew? Because he's taller, richer, and cuter than you.
Huh?
That's right. He's much more popular than you.
That's right. Why are you bullying him?
When people are faced with the truly unexplainable and strange, they're rendered utterly speechless. Kyoji stares at Shadashima's groupies with his mouth hanging open, which only deepens their suspicions.
I knew it. I was right. You're jealous of Shadashima-san, Mew. I was right, because he's much more popular than you.
I was right on the money.
No, listen, I don't know how you came to that conclusion, but...
Don't bother making excuses. We can see right through you. Come on. The day hasn't even started yet, so why is he so rowdy here?
A voice calls out to them from the entrance. Akane stands there grumpily. Aoi is also there, close behind her with a gloomy expression.
You keep your meddling nose out of this, Makana and Kamizugi, Mew. We're in the middle of delivering righteous justice on the newly kid, Mew. Now listen to me, you three. You keep calling him the new kid, but he's got a name. Call him Kyoji Jino.
Akane's chiding the trio. Chiding? Whatever. The trio exchanges gazes and quickly unpleasantly.
Akane Kamizugi is covering the new kid, Mew. Suspicious.
Very suspicious.
Hey, what are you saying?
Akane raises her voice in protest, her cheeks going very red, but then a sweet, clear voice interrupts their argument. Did you just hear something? The owner of that voice, Kiki Misono, the girl who was in the same class as Kyoji in the whole school. She's one of the prettiest girls in the class and an honor student. She stands out naturally as she's half Japanese, half Caucasian, making her the talk of the class. Marina, who did... She's suddenly so sad. Marina, who'd been so boisterous up until a moment ago, suddenly clams up.
Huh?
There, didn't the PA just say something? Oddly enough, Kiek's voice manages to silence everyone. Indeed, Kyoji can hear something. There's an announcement chiming out through the PA system.
Kyoji Jino! You are to report to the principal's office immediately. I report, Kyoji Jino, from class...
Me? Kyoji looks up in surprise when a relaxed voice reaches his ears from the entrance.
Ah, there you are, Kyo-san. Which way to the principal's office?
Accompanied by the odd spectacle of Yamiko in a suit, Kyoji makes his way to the principal's office. There are a lot of fucking characters. I'm having a little bit of trouble. Akane and Kiki see him off with the stupefied expressions. Kyoji knocks on the door twice. When they enter the office, they find what looks like a middle-aged married couple, the principal and Kyoji's homeroom teacher, the Sandman. She's kind of already got a pretty good voice.
My, is he the one? Oh, he really does have a delinquent's face.
The first one to speak is the lady sitting on the right, who's clad in a rather gaudy outfit. Her suit is emblazoned with a very conspicuous brand logo. The bag she carries is similarly marked with the same logo.
No, miss. Let's remain calm, shall we? You're Jino-kun, yes? And you are?
I'm Himiko Yumikawa. I hear Kyoji's caused you some trouble.
Huh? Kyoji's shocked. Yamiko is talking like a normal person, despite it being what any normal person would do in this situation. Kyoji's taken aback that she even introduced herself by her real name. To top it all off, she greets everyone perfectly with a neutral expression and bows her head.
You're Shadashima's-kun's father and mother. We're apologizing for calling you over.
The principal regards the two of them with a kind, businesslike smile and motions for them to take the two center seats.
My, you're quite young, aren't you?
Shadashima's mother says, looking at Yamiko up and down. Kyoji can see Shadashima's father examining Yamiko as well from where he's seated on the principal's sofa. Maybe he's imagining it, but Kyoji can't help but think that the man's gaze is far from scrutinizing than that of his wife.
My, Jino-kun does have a pretty guardian, doesn't he? I can see why living with such a beautiful lady would make the lad restless. Maybe we can't blame him for having too much energy and resorting to violence, huh?
Shadashima's father lets out a loud, vulgar laugh, his large gut shaking all the while. Oh, he's fat as fuck. Okay. Kyoji immediately feels his anger flare up. His stomach seethes with annoyance. He clenches his hand on his lap to bear it as Yamiko blows her head again. Bows her head again!
I'd like to apologize for any trouble Kyoji might have caused you.
Hey, Yamiko, why are you apologizing?
Kyoji-kun.
Kyoji holds his tongue at once. It's not just that she calls his name. There's an inexplicable pressure to her voice, too, more than anything. Her eyes are looking at him more gravely than he's ever seen before. She looks like that, yeah. Yamiko nods briefly at Kyoji, then turns her gaze forward before bowing his head the third time. Ew, that was gross. Her eyes moved. Kyoji feels a weight pressed down on his heart. He feels pathetic. Only now does the full weight of what he's done dawn on him. The way she referred to him and her formal attitude only make the situation even more unbearable. Gripping the straps of her bag, Shadashima's mother raises an eyebrow.
My, how barbaric! This is a brute of a boy while my poor Fuyumi came home in such a terrible condition. Yes, I understand what happened perfectly now.
No,
the principal says hurriedly, somehow managing to soothe Shadashima's mother before he turns to Yamiko.
Now then, Yumikawa-san, yes? I'm sure there's no need to explain why we're all here. We've gathered here today to discuss how yesterday Kyoji-kun got into a fight with Shadashima's son, Fumiwa-kun.
My, what are you saying, our sweet Fujiyama-kun? I would never do anything as barbaric as getting into a fight.
Excuse me, Shadashima-san.
But this time Shadashima's mother hears the principal's rebuke coming and raises her shrill voice to cut him off.
My poor baby Fuyima is in a terrible condition right now. He can't even walk on his own.
That's a fucking fat-ass lie, bro.
He needed to have his friends carry him back home, and you know what his friend Fuyima said about that? He said he's fine. But seeing how injured he was, just remembering it makes my head spin. There's so much blood, I was afraid my poor son might bleed to death.
Kyoji can't help but blurt out, "Huh? You're joking. He wasn't hurt that bad." Sure, Kyoji certainly punched and kicked him, but it's hardly as though Shadashima would die from that. compared to Kyoji, who got ganged up on, Shadashima got off easy. Yeah, they threw a bike at his head, bro. But Shadashima's mother simply looks at Kyoji with hysterical eyes.
My God, I can't believe this! Did you just hear him? I said he hasn't reflected on what he's done one bit!
Her voice is so high-pitched that the listening to her gives Kyoji a headache. Was it just him, or did everyone in the room, Shadashima's father included, just grimace wearily because of it? As soon as Shadashima's mother's shrieking dies down, Yamiko speaks in a cold voice.
Don't worry, Kyoji-kun. Bofuyama must be very frail and sickly. He's a naive, innocent, dainty little boy. My, if you blow on him hard enough, he'd probably fall over, right?
As soon as she says that, Kyoji almost bursts out laughing. Yamiko turns to Shadashima's mother with a perfect smile.
Isn't that right, madam? Yes, of course he is.
She nods, albeit somewhat reluctantly.
See, Kyoji-kun? She just said so herself. Fumiya-kun is very, very sensitive little boy. As fragile as a little turd. A little bird. So you have to treat him very, very nicely, understood?
Yamiko gives Kyoji a wink that only he can see. At this point, Kyoji is struggling to keep himself from crackling up. Shadashima's father clears his throat. Even so, miss, the fact remains, Fuyama was gravely injured by your boy. Thankfully, our doctors were able to treat him properly. Depending on how things go, I'm afraid we may have to resolve this issue through other means.
Meaning?
Well, we could go through the appropriate channels, but of course, we realize that this was a dispute between children. We don't want to complicate the situation any more than we have to. We wouldn't want to hurt the school's reputation either, of course. We're willing to settle this without a fuss if you don't simply pay for damages. I believe that's the most realistic solution. What do you say? Kyoji holds his breath and bites his lip. He can't put Yamiko through his kind of trouble on his first week of school. Or, if you like, we could discuss things thoroughly with your lawyer. As Shadashima's father continues his non-stop triad, Yamiko takes something out of her bag.
Yes, understood. If you'd like to continue this discussion after this talk, would you contact the number on this card?
Shadashima's father arrogantly plucks Yamiko's business card out of her hand, but as soon as he reads it, all the color drains from his face. It's like that Patrick Bateman scene, American Psycho. My God.
Now, my sincerest apologies, but I had to step away from work to come here today. Would you mind if we could circle back to the issue some other time?
Yamiko currently ends the conversation while Kyoji watches with wide eyes. Shadashima's mother immediately raises her eyebrows.
No, we do certainly mind. I'd say you're lacking good faith to begin with.
Don't! Just as it seems like the lady is about to spiral off into another long-winded bout of hysterics, Shadashima's father cuts into her words. Kyoji stares at them in surprise. Why did he stop her? If anything, he should be complaining together with her. Yamiko maintains her perfect, nonchalant smile as she bows her head one last time before pushing on Kyoji's shoulders.
Now, let's go, Kyoji-kun.
You're so cool, Yamiko. Kyoji hurries after Yamiko and goes out into the corridor. Kyoji burning with questions to be answered. What was that business card she handed him? Why did Shadashima's father back down like that? But he feels like there's something else he needs to say before any of that, so he holds his questions back for now. Staring at Yamiko's back, he wonders what it is he wants to tell her, yet no words come to mind. All in all, he's frustrated, angry, seeing Yamiko be forced to apologize like that. Unable to say anything back was terrible. At the same time, he can't help but feel angry at how powerless he was. I have to say I'm sorry. Hey, Yamiko, but the moment Kyoji calls out to her, Yamiko suddenly collapses to her knees. Ugh, in the middle of the school.
I'm tired.
Yamiko-san. Her manner of speech switches back to normal, or rather, her usual drawl.
Having to talk slowly like that tires me out so much.
Huh? Koji's mouth hangs open. Huh?
I'm taking the day off. I can't work today, no. I can skip work today, right, Kyo-chan?
Why are you asking me? Kyoji looks at Yamiko as she gazes at him with teary eyes. He entirely drops his shoulders. All his earnest desire to apologize to her instantly went out the window. I'm surprised you can function as an adult like this.
Wow, rude. I'm responsible adult even now. You depend on me, boy, with no sass.
Yamiko taps on her knees before getting up, walking off with her usual lazy gait. Somehow Kyoji feels as though he just missed his opportunity to apologize to her.
You blew it, kid.
So instead he asks the question that's been burning in his mind since he left the office. Say, what was that business card you gave him?
Hmm?
I mean, the business card you gave Chadashima's dad. It wasn't from Abraze, was it? Or what? Was he shocked because he learned you worked for such a third-rate magazine? Yamiko puts her hand on her hip and puffs on her cheeks in a pout.
That's rude. Abraze is a respectable magazine. We're first rate in the occult field, you know.
I don't know why Kyoji's being such a rude asshole about that. Yeah, because you hardly have any rivals.
Oh, now that's just insulting. You'd be surprised how much competition we have, though most of them went out of business.
Because fucking Yamiko gets shit done, that's what I say. Yamiko shrugs and produces another of those business cards from her card case.
That business card was from your old publisher.
The card she gives him belongs to a large publisher Kyoji is familiar with. Yamiko uses to work for the editorial department there, and at one of the more robust weekly magazines at that. The magazine made a name for itself with its sharp-tongued coverage of corporate fraud and social injustice. Kyoji doesn't really know too much about it, but apparently a great many scandals were exposed thanks to that magazine. At least that's what his parents told him. Kyoji timidly looks up at Yamiko. But isn't this just impersonation? My, you know some complicated terms. Sorry. Who cares about that? What if they find out? Yamiko waves her hand dismissively in response to Kyoji's panic.
It's fine, they won't. People who like to use their authority to solve problems are just weak to authority themselves. That's all.
That sounds underhanded. Yamiko flashes a wicked smile.
You're better off dealing with idiots like them. It's just a waste of time. Just filtering them out like this is the right answer. If they think we're on the same level as them, they'll feel like messing with us more and trouble when it's worth it, right?
You say some pretty mean things with a poker face, you know that?
Oh, do I?
Yamiko replies in a sing-song voice before cocking her head.
Well, I'll be heading back then.
Ah, right.
All right, Kyogen.
Yamiko pulls out Yamiko pulls out a couple of 1,000 yen bills from her purse and hands them Kyoji. No way. What's this? You're giving me an allowance?
No, but as some box lunches on the way back from school, would you, and if you find any desserts, get those too?
What? Oh, buy some stuff for me, okay.
Oh, and if there's any change, give it back to me.
No!
Bye, counting on you.
By the time Kyoji returns to class, it is already break time. Ah, Koji! Shinta hurries over to him. Why did they call you to the principal's office? Was it about Shadashima? Good guess. Kyoji walks past Shinta, tapping on the shoulder while doing so. Shinta follows him. I mean, his mom's pretty famous. She always keeps going, Fumiya-chan! Good impression, man. Kyoji wryly settles into his seat, the woman's shrill screeching still on his mind. Shinta spins around the seat in front of Kyojo before sitting down as well. But forget that. Who was that cool and pretty lady that came into the class earlier? Hell if I know. Kyoji replies curtly, resting his chin on his hands. Shinta looks at him puzzled. I know a lazy, irresponsible woman, but no cool and pretty ladies. You're so fucking mean, bro. Why did you say that? Oh, come on, man. She was pretty and looked really cool. All the boys were jealous when she went with you to the principal's office, you know. Shinta grumpily shifts his weight against the back seat, making his chair legs clatter against the floor. Well, she's nothing like that from a relative's perspective. You mean she's part of your family? Haven't you met her before? It's my mom's cousin, Yamiko Saitama.
Weird name. Is that really what she's called?
Nah, it's her pen name for the occult magazine she writes for. Her real name's Himiko. She's my guardian while I live here. Remember her now? Himiko Nichan?
Oh, right. I remember now. The flighty girl. Wait, she was always that pretty?
Kyoji stares at him, slack-jawed. Pretty? What does flighty mean? I don't actually know what that means, and they keep saying it. Shinta keeps talking, his eyes absolutely sparkling.
I mean, man, I'm so jealous of you. Imagine having someone that pretty taking care of you. Wait, do you, live in the same house with her?
Growing more and more exhausted with this conversation, Kyoji answers Shinta's questions with another question. You're not thinking anything strange about this, are you? Shinta pokes Kyoji on the shoulder with a clearly lewd expression on his face.
Oh, come on. You live with such a pretty lady. Doesn't she, tell you where else should, show you the ropes?
You're fucking gross, Shinta. I liked you before, but now you're just a gross sicko. As Shinta continues to gently poke and prod him, Kyoji slumps over his desk like a beached jellyfish. Nope, nothing like that. Do you really think something like that could happen? You've been reading too many porn mags, man.
But seriously, compared to living with my sisters, my mom, and my nan, she looks so cool and fun and pretty.
Right, I get it. Your sister's all still making your life a living hell, right? Shinta's family is matrilineal. Neither Shinta nor his family have much of a say in the family compared to his grandmother, mother, 3 older sisters, and kid sisters.
No, I'm used to that, but...
Shinta whispers with a distant gaze in his eyes. Whoa, okay,
Say, what's that lady back there, Himiko Oni-chan?
Kane walks over at the same point and leans towards Kyoji. Yeah, you haven't seen her in a while, right?
Yeah, it's been years. Why did Himiko Oni-chan come to school for you, though?
What? Didn't you just see her yesterday? What do you mean it's been years? Crowd forms around him at some point with Am I gonna have to do 8 voices again? With Kiki and Aoi among them, everyone's seemingly curious to hear how Kyoji and Yamiko are related. Kyoji tells them all about how his parents moved to America, that Yamiko is his mother's cousin, and how they had an apartment left here even after moving out. He then explains that Yamiko moved into the apartment here because of work and that she's agreed to look after Kyoji while his parents are in America. Only after he tells them all that do they seem to be convinced of his story.
Wow, so Himiko Oni-chan's working for a magazine now.
Kyoji then raises an index finger and tells her, "Oh, but you probably shouldn't call her Himiko, okay?
Why not?
Kane looks perplexed. She had always called her Himiko Oni-chan, and they got along as sisters. Is this a different person? Who's talking right now? Is this not... I'm confused. Kane looks perplexed. She had always called her Himiko Oni-chan, and they got along like sisters. Her confusion is understandable. Well, actually, Yamiko-san hates her real name.
But why? Himiko Yumikawa is a pretty name. It's like something from a manga for girls, right?
Akane looks to Aoi as if searching for agreement, but Aoi only cocks her head.
I guess.
Right? Why wouldn't she hate it?
I think that's exactly why she hates it.
Yeah, I bet.
Shinta nods with a smug expression.
I don't get it. Oh, right, Kyoji. Yesterday you went home while I was out calling for the nurse.
Akane suddenly recalls what happened yesterday and snaps him. This is a different character. So I didn't walk home with you. I was running around the school for your sake, and when I came back you were wrong, and you, too, Ayo. Why did you just leave like that? I thought this was the same character, bro. What? Ugh. It's because it took you forever to come back, that's why. What's with that attitude? Is that how you thank me for after I helped you? Whoa! Just don't punch me, Akane! Everything had been fairly peaceful since he was called over to the principal's office that morning. Neither Sadashima or his crew came to school that day, and all the crazy girl trio did was give him some dirty looks while whispering menacingly among themselves. Aside from that, everything was fine. Homeroom ends and everyone gets to their feet. Kyoji turns his eyes to the door where he sees Andu peering into the classroom. Spotting Kyoji, he starts speaking in his trademark sleepy voice.
Jino-kun, can you come over here for a moment?
The corridor is full of students hurrying home. Meanwhile, Andu waits for Kyoji at the door. When Kyoji goes out into the corridor, Ando lets out a dry cough and scratches his cheek.
Well, I don't very much like the fact that I have to tell you this.
Ando heaves an unpleasant sigh. He blinks his tiny, depressed eyes as he looks at Kyoji.
And don't you think you've made a bit too much of a mess on your first day at school?
What does that mean? Kyoji gets the feeling he's talking about what happened yesterday with Shadashima, but for some reason he has an oddly bad feeling about this. Ando regards him with abject smile and lets out a strained laugh.
It looks like you've become something of a hero among your peers.
I didn't mean to! Kyoji wants to refute Andu's words somehow, but he can't come up with anything. Andu simply nods with an expression that says he understands everything.
I know that kids your age want to stand out somehow, but once you become an adult, you'll realize just how foolish of an idea that is.
What's his problem? Kyoji is sick to his stomach. Why does his teacher have to jump to the worst possible conclusion? He throws a dangerous glance at the teacher. Sir, if you have something to say, could you stop beating around the bush and just say it?
Huh?
Andu's mouth simply hangs open for a moment. It seems he didn't expect Kyoji to actually talk back to him. I didn't do this because I wanted to make myself stand out, and I don't think I'm a hero or anything. I think you've got the wrong idea about me. The more words leave Kyoji's lips, the angrier he feels. This small, plump man standing in front of him doesn't look like he's a teacher to be respected, but is simply a nasty man.
No, I didn't mean...
You don't mean what? Go on, say it! Kyoji knows that making himself look problematic won't do any good, but he can't keep himself from glaring at the teacher. Andu looks like he's about to say something, but in the end, he only averts his eyes from Kyoji.
Well, just don't cause any more trouble, please.
Straight up bullying the teacher, Kyoji. What the fuck's wrong with you? Once Kyoji returns into the classroom, Shinta immediately hurries over to him, his face clearly concerned.
What did the Sandman want?
Nothing, he just said a bunch of stupid shit.
Probably told you not to cause any trouble, huh?
Shinta beams at him.
That guy has no motivation whatsoever. He's just an unpleasant and nasty. No one in class wants to deal with him. So don't let him bother you, Kyoji, alright? I've got something to give you.
Saying that, Shinta returns to his seat for a moment. He rummages through his bag and returns with what looks like a keychain in his hand. Whoa!
I won this from a cane game in the arcade yesterday. You like this sort of stuff, right?
A toy! Yahoo! Shinta hands the keychain to Kyoji. He realizes it's shaped like a monster from a flashy show he knows.
This one's really cool. If you push it here, his head lights up.
Whoa! To illustrate, he pushes hard on the keychain's rubbery torso. That scared me. Forgot I had flowers in my window and I pulled back the curtain. Flowers scared me. To illustrate, he pushes his hard on the keychain's rubbery torso. The hole at the top of the monster's head flashes up with a surprisingly bright light. Thanks, man. With a curt expression, Kyoji accepts the keychain. He presses on its body to try it out. On closer inspection, his eyes are made of the transparent material that glows whenever his head lights up. Oh, that's kind of cool. He's doing his best to keep it from showing on his face, but he's actually really happy about this gift. What's more, this keychain is a doll, the final demon beast, Baroran, a creature from Super Amazing Demon Cyclone 5, a show Kyojo loved as a kid. Whoa. It's like Kamen Rider. Come to think of it, this monster is known for shooting beams from his eyes that turn any human they hit into a zombie. What a jerk. So when Red got hit by the beam, the other 4 members of the team had to fight him. And then what happens after that again? Damn. Kyoji screws up his face. He suddenly notices that Shinta is grinning at him. What?
Just thinking that you really like this stuff.
Ah, zip it. It is just me, or your attitude really different compared to yesterday? Shinta awkwardly looks away and feigns a chuckle. You keep talking about how I changed yesterday. So what, have you changed your mind? So what, have you changed your mind?
No, it's just, you look all different and act cool now, but on the inside you're the same guy. Figuring out that it was a relief.
I'm not trying to act cool, and I don't even change that much. If anything, you changed more than I did.
I mean, Kyoji, you didn't send me a single letter.
Shinta pouts. Well, you didn't send me any letters either.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but still.
The two exchange looks for a moment before allowing themselves sheepish smiles. They used to be such good friends. They hung out all the time and were close enough to always know where the other wanted to play next. Maybe it's because they were that close that it was too awkward to send each other letters. Ultimately, 3 years passed, but without them, so much as giving each other a phone call. Despite that silence, they started talking with each other freely in no time, even if there was some awkwardness at first. I'm finally back home. That shooting thought crosses his mind. Shinta suddenly looks up at the clock hanging on the wall.
Oh, shoot. I need to get to club activities. Just yesterday I shouted at one of the new members about being late, so I can't be late myself after that. Gotta set an example. Bye, Kyoji. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow, man. I like you, Shinta. As soon as Kyoji steps out of the corridor, he pauses. Is Kika in the astronomy club room? Normally someone would make sure to show a transfer student where everything is, but since he's just moving back here, no one suggested it. However, the fact that he moved back here doesn't mean he knows anything about this school. Kind of negligent, isn't it? Of course, he naturally gets no answer from whispering that to himself. After thinking for a little bit, Kyoji decides to take a look around the school building all on his own. He climbs up the stairs to the second floor. He then crosses the connecting corridor to the special school ward. He heads up to the second story. This corridor is where the musical classroom and its adjoining instruments storage are, as well as the classroom for the cultural clubs. Kyoji isn't keen on joining any clubs, but as he walks by the rooms, which all have nameplates bearing the title of their clubs on them, he stops by one door that has a blank nameplate. He stands there for a moment in front of the door. Does this room belong to one of the clubs, or is it just an empty, unused room? He stands in front of the door and thinks. What does he do? Try to go inside? Reconsidering, Kyoji turns around. It's probably just a storeroom or something. There's no need to look inside there. But now he's tired of walking around the school, so he decides to go back to the entrance. Okay, what voice do I give here?
Hey,
Hi.
you on your way back home?
Yeah. What now? He can't come up with anything to say. It looks like Akane's on her way home, too. The way things are going, they'll end up going home together. Should I invite her to come with me? How am I even going to do that now? Say like, hey, want to go back to my place? Beautiful. For a second, he considers inviting her, but when he considers that it's Akane, he only feels even more awkward. And so, without either of them really saying anything in particular to each other, they end up going home together.
I heard Ando-sensei calling for you.
All right.
Did he want to talk to you about what happened to Sadashima-kun?
Yeah.
It looks like you don't want to talk about what happened, so I won't ask you to elaborate.
Elaborate.
But it looks like Sadashima-kun's friends are involved too. Didn't they get told off too?
Doesn't look like it.
That's not fair at all.
You think?
Sure I do. Those guys definitely talked their way out of what the same excuse. They can't stand them. They're weasels.
Looking at her, Kyoji can see her face is absolutely red with anger. And the Sandman never cares either. He's all here, no evil. speak no evil. Oh, he's old. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. These guys keep doing bad stuff like shaking students down for money, and he knows it, and he just pretends like he's never saw anything.
And Marina's group is weird too. I get that they like Shadashima-kun, but they're blaming the wrong people. Those three keep saying the most absurd things. I wish they'd finally learn what they think and take a little more before they speak.
Just talking about it seems to have flared up her anger because the more Akane talks, the faster her words become. That's always been a quirk of hers. Kyoji regards with a sly smile. Akane has always ended up talking too fast whenever she gets mad. As they go down the hall through the exit and starts walking home, Kyoji remembers something that happened in the past. It was years ago and Akane was more boyish. Akane has always been hot-headed, not in a selfish or unreasonable way, but simply because she has a strong sense of justice, so she'd always pick fights with the class's more bratty students. Whenever Akane got mad, she'd start talking quickly. The brats would just say, "I can't hear you," and tease her, which would always lead to fisticuffs in the end.
Hey, are you listening to me?
Yeah, I'm listening. Kyoji replies with a tired smile.
Jeez.
Akane puffs on her cheeks in a pout and swings her bag over her shoulder.
Anyway, I just hate those guys. I wish Shadashima-kun would just cut ties with them already.
You make it sound like Shadashima isn't doing anything wrong.
I guess you don't know because you only just transferred in, but he's a surprisingly helpful guy.
When she says it like that, he loses all his desire to pursue the matter any further. Still, Kyoji feels something nasty and unpleasant swirling in his chest. I'll be right back. I want a beer. I really, really, really want one. When she says it like that, he loses all his desire to pursue the matter any further. Still, Kyoji feels something nasty and unpleasant swirling in his chest. Soon enough, they reach the downtown area. Even in the rural town, the area around the station is fairly well developed, with a decent amount of pedestrian traffic. Akane might have also felt awkward from the direction their conversation took, because now she smiles like she's decided to change gears.
But, forget about that. You haven't been around here for a while, so how about I show you around?
It's fine. I doubt it changed that much.
You'd be surprised. Come on over here.
Hey! Akane runs into a side street having a sigh. Kyoji follows her and looks around the alleyway.
See that convenience store over there? It used to be a liquor store, remember?
Ah, right. You remember that the liquor store was an old rickety wooden building that looked like it could fall over at any moment. Now in its place is an ordinary convenience store with an orange and green sign.
They built a suburb mall near the highway that put the liquor store out of business. At least that's why my grandpa says.
Grandma? Really?
Oh, and see, next to it is an apartment building now. It used to be a snack bar.
Oh, yeah. That did used to be there, didn't it? Her saying that does make Kyoji remember it. There used to be a lame purple sign with the names of women on it, like Shiori and Sayori. It certainly felt like a store for grown-ups, and passing by it used to make Kyoji feel kind of uncomfortable. Standing in its place now is a rather long, narrow apartment building, which implies the snack bar wasn't the only building that was torn down to make room for it.
And then there's... Remember what used to be there?
Kane points toward a kind of sign that could be found in any town. There's a small storefront in the customer's credit company. Kyoji recalls that it has a TV commercial that depicts a dog raising its paw like it's begging. He can't decide if that commercial is cute or grating. No?
Didn't think you would. There used to be a model shop there. You'd always stare at the Cyclone V models in their store window.
Aw. Oh, that's cute. She remembers I did that. Oh, what? Did they go out of business?
Yeah. The old man running it got sick and went back to the countryside.
Oh. That brings back memories. The owner of that model shop was the cross-eyed, scary-looking old man. Cross-eyed? The storefront was a messy, very hobby-centric place that didn't really attract customers. Kyoji remembers peeking inside a lot of times, but he'd never seen anyone else. Sitting in its dusty show display window were expensive figurines that Kyoji could never hope to own himself at that time. With how the storefront was a wreck, how expensive the figurines were and how scary the shopkeeper was, Kyoji had only ever stayed plastered to the showcase's glass window at first, but in the end the shopkeeper turned out to be pretty nice, telling Kyoji to come inside if he was interested. Kyoji takes another look around the street. Between the convenience stores, ATMs, and chain restaurants, this small town had turned into a miniature version of the big city. However, there's an air of futility to it all. It's like this place is trying its hardest to keep up appearances, but it would only take a thin facade being peeled away to expose it all for the charade it truly is. Yeah, I guess it did change more than I thought.
It's not the same old place, but some things haven't changed.
Akane looks at Kyoji and smiles. That smile is the same smile she's always had. It puts Kyoji at ease somehow. Yeah, I guess that's true. Oh, holy shit. That scared me, bro. Yamiko jump scare.
I swear, schools nowadays are just no good.
That night, Yamiko says with her usual slow tone as she digs into her instant curry.
They just compromise. Or believe in letting sleeping dogs lie. They probably think this will all blow over if they just leave it alone, right?
Try telling that to the teachers. You said it. Kyoji tiredly drops his shoulders as Yamiko waves her spoon in his direction.
No, that just sounds like it'd be a drag. That's what we call a waste of time. People like them are too hard-headed to understand.
Adults, huh? The word crosses Kyoji's mind. Yamiko carries a spoon in her mouth and cocks her head in a way that can't be called charming at all.
All right, I wanted to ask you for a little favor, Kyo-chan.
What? Kyoji already feels his guard raising. He has a bad feeling about this.
Are you free tomorrow after school?
No, I'm busy.
Oh?
As Kyoji tries to make his escape, Yumiko pursues him by leaning in close.
You're busy, really?
Really? Yumiko's expression suddenly changes.
You're busy? When you don't go to any club, hardly do your homework, or help out around the house? Really?
Can you look at me in the eyes and say that one more time? Yamiko tightens her grip on Kyoji's hands while peering into his eyes. Fine, just let me go. So, what are we gonna do?
Well, could you help me with the coverage for a story tomorrow after school?
A story? Like for a brazier? That's right.
Thrilling, isn't it? Or what? Are you scared?
I ain't scared.
Don't worry. If you get possessed by something evil, I'll ask a reliable medium to help you.
That sounds even more shady.
But don't worry. It's nothing that strange. Don't worry about it. Just help me out.
You'll make me help you whether I want to or not anyway.
Did you say something?
Yamiko cracks her knuckles again, which makes Kyoji shake his head in a hurry. She's gonna beat the fuck out of me. Nothing! I didn't say anything!
That's good. Alright, Kyo-chan, you should be careful on your way back from school. Don't follow any weird men in the streets, okay?
Where did they come from? Where did that come from?
Well, there have been a lot of disappearances in the area lately.
Is she talking about the story Shinta told him? Wasn't it all girls who went missing, though?
I suppose, but I mean, we're out in the sticks, and it's all little girls who went missing, so maybe they ran away from home because they wanted to see what the big city is like. But that said, it's kind of strange. They left their bags and stuff behind.
I guess.
So people think it's kidnapping, or that those girls got spirited away, or what this boogeyman and a pipe paper is the kind of theories.
No way. Kyoji denies it at once.
So I'm saying, you should be careful just in case.
Hey, don't just ignore me. I said no way. Right on cue, didn't I?
Thanks for the meal.
Yamiko brings her hands together cheerfully. After Kyoji returns to his room and does his daily routine of playing the guitar, it's quiet outside the window. Every now and then he can hear a dog barking in the distance or a car drive away. And so, feeling a bit more at ease than he did last night, he drifts off to sleep. Despite it not being late into autumn, it's quite chilly tonight. Clutching her own arms in an attempt to shield herself from the wind, she walks down the highway adjacent to the park. What is this about? Her department chief's greasy face fills her mind. Most people would agree that Yako is a quiet woman, but her appearance and her personality are decidedly plain. Whenever she shops for clothes, she's so obsessed with coordinating the colors, she always ends up picking the same dark shades. Unlike her coworkers, Hiromi, she isn't the type to go out drinking with her male colleagues, even when she plucks up the courage to go to a mixer. She only ends up sitting in the corner, hanging her head. She never joined any conversations, leaving her with nothing to do but clean up afterwards. She always helped with the cleaning because she had hoped that someone would see her as bright as Ernest. And yet, this is what she wanted to happen. Going all the time made everyone think I'm an exploitable woman instead. At some point, Yake's position within the department changed. Now everyone sees her as a woman who'd do anything, a woman that could dump any task on. Serve some tea, make some copies, pick up overtime to clean up someone else's mess. By forcing those tasks on Yako, all her coworkers were able to leave work on time and head out for the night out of the town. I've got urgent business today to attend to. Could you handle these documents for me? I'll fill it in for next time. That's what Hiromi told her today, her lips shining with shining. Hiromi probably assumed Yako couldn't see how she was sneering at her deep down. I hate Hiromi, and some urgent boss that is. She just went on a date with Sasaki-kun from sales today. Sasaki-kun is kind of handsome, mild-mannered, and quite successful. Yako is a bit attracted to him, but before she realized it, she was already going out with Hiromi. And while Hiromi is out dating Sasaki, she had to put up with this. Yako bites her lips. The documents Hiromi made her handle took longer than she expected. She made a lot of little mistakes. As she made her corrections, time flew by. Before she knew it, the only ones left in the office were her and the section chief. Just after 10 in the evening, he tapped her on the shoulder. I don't like where this is going.
You want this, don't you?
The fact Hiromi only asked Yako to handle the documents after she had already gotten ready to leave for home was a blessing in disguise. Yako was able to grab her things on the spot and flee the scene immediately. Just remembering it makes her hands holding her tote bag shiver in anger. He made jokes that bordered on indecent. It felt like he was always craftily testing the waters, gauging to see just how far he could go. She's so frustrated. Even a terrible man like him is looking down on her. She bites her lips so hard it hurts. The tears start running before she can help it. Constantly mouthing curses at the chief and Hiromi in her heart, Yako sprints down the dark road. With those kinds of thoughts in mind, it only makes sense for her to be angry, of course, but there's another reason she's running. Ooh. Alright, Yako is terribly afraid. She can't stop shaking. If she hadn't lost herself to anger earlier, she'd be afraid to be screaming right now. Yako feels a terrible, inexplicable fear that feels as though it's gouging deep into her flesh. She's so desperate to look away from it that she's willing to let her mind linger on infiltrating thoughts of the chief and Hiromi. It's dark around her, yes, but that's no different than any other night. She can't hear anything but her own footsteps, not a sound. That's the most unnerving thing of all. Normally, even in a park at night, there would still be some kind of noise. Sirens in the distance, perhaps, or a dog barking. The tumult of the shopping district, the faint rustling of the leaves. But tonight she can't hear anything. It's like the space around her and her alone has been muffled with wads of silk. This music is such a vibe, bro. The wind isn't so much as stirring. The air itself is so silent, it's almost tender. It's like she's in some kind of unknown place, sealed away from the rest of the world. Damn that old man! Damn him! Yako quickens her pace, trying to flee from the strange presence surrounding her. If she just goes a little further down the road, the lights of the residential area should come into view. She can feel that her armpits are damp and that her forehead is dripping with cold sweat. She doesn't know, however, that her eyes are bloodshot. Hurry, hurry, just a little longer. Ooh, I like this guy. He sounds like um uh the main guy who thinks he's Charles Manson in Suicide Club. Like if you agree.
Greetings, young lady. How are you? How do you do? Ha!
Oh.
Go Screaming Show!
Morning. As Kyoji rubs his groggy eyes, he very nearly drops the slice of toast he just picked up when he sees Yamiko walk through the door. Wow.
Morning.
Gah! Her top half is still acceptable, her hair is unkempt and messy, and her expression is still sleepy. But he can't forgive that much. The problem is her lower half. Why are you walking around like that? At Kyoji shouting, Yamiko only sleepily cocks her head. Go get changed already now. Brush your hair and wash your face, too. Just go short yourself out. He's about to kick her out of the room when the doorbell suddenly rings. He hasn't even had a chance to eat his toast yet. Damn it! Who's here this early in the morning? Coming! Can I help you? He raises his voice almost in desperation before opening the front door. Akane!
So, I just need this sign and that's why... Huh?
Akane, who had been mumbling to herself, jolts a full 10 centimeters into the air when she sees Kyoji herself. I doubt that, bro.
I need your signatures, Guardian.
What the hell is she saying this early in the morning? Kyoji peers at Akane's face. Did you bump your head on the way here or something?
No, of course not. What are you saying? It's just the handouts, right? I got you the handouts. I mean, I had to. The deputy teacher gave them to me yesterday during homeroom, so I said these need your guardian signature, so
Akane's voice gradually tapers off. So you came all the way here just for that?
Yeah, I forgot to give it to you yesterday back home, so I figured I had to take responsibility for that.
I mean, sure, but why are you so upset about it? Akane turns even redder in the face.
Nobody's upset here.
Pretty sure everyone I see here is upset.
Well, I'm not upset.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure you look really upset to me.
Just how am I upset?
What is this comedy routine?
Someone mumbles a quip behind Kyoji's back. Yamiko, who had washed her face and changed Kyoji, as Kyoji demanded, steps outside while wiping her face with a towel.
Hi, Yamiko, I mean, Oni-chan, good morning.
Good morning. What did you come here to wake Kyo-chan for?
No, I got some handouts that required his guardian signature, and I forgot to give them to him the other day, so
Is that right? I'm sure you came over to wake him up. Because back when Kyo-chan was little, you'd always come over to wake him up.
Akane looks oddly happy as she nods.
Yeah, that's how things were. He keeps sleeping even when I rode the blanket off of him, and he'd go, I'm so sleepy, Mom.
Yes, he did, and there was one time where he thought you were his mom.
Yeah, I remember that, and I didn't know that myself, and he started calling me that.
The two of them laugh together while Kyoji simply drops his shoulders. Man, can you guys please stop making fun of me? God, why do all women have to hit off their stuff like what? God, why do women always have to hit it off over stuff like this? Could you sign this, Yamiko-san? I'll get ready for school. Yamiko waves her hand as if to say she's heard him, but Kyoji doubts that she's actually listening. She's completely caught up in the making fun of Kyoji with Akane.
Jeez.
Kyoji shrugs and heads back to his room. I mean, they're just handouts. Nothing would happen if they came in a day or two late. Only the Sandman would care, right?
I took responsibility for these, so I have to do it. And if you get those handouts in time, I'd be the one getting scolded over.
Yeah, I got it, so pipe down. So mean, bro. You can see groups of students in their uniforms heading down the road to school in groups of 2 and 3s. It feels like there's more people coming by foot, but maybe that's just his imagination. Besides, what's so fun about digging up old stories about me? Because you two looked like you were having a blast. I mean, put yourself in my shoes for once. Guys don't like having stuff from them when they were kids brought up.
Oh, why not?
It's because I always did dumb stuff when I was a kid, obviously. And besides, they're not all good memories.
What?
Nothing. Akane's eyes suspiciously put... Akane eyes him suspiciously, but he looks away. How does Akane feel about what happened back then? She seems to act normally around Kyoji, like nothing happened, but... After a moment's silence, Akane says in a somewhat pouty manner. Pouty?
If it bothers you that much, I won't come over anymore. If you have to figure out what you had out, I'll let the Sandman glare at you for all I care.
That was horrible. Thanks to all the years he has known her, Kyoji knows that Akane only pouts like this when she's serious. He recalls that whenever she gets like this, saying something to cheer her up is a good way to avoid arguments later down the line. Akane has a pretty straightforward personality, but she becomes pretty scary when she's sincerely angry at someone. How do I handle this? Kyoji ponders for a moment before answering. It's not like I mind you coming over. For now, he just says that. He feels a bit bashful, but putting up with this now, he'll make things easier to handle down the line. That's all there is to it, really. Telling himself this, Kyoji glares at Akane. But in exchange, no more gossiping about things I did as a kid. Effective immediately. You shouldn't have fun at my expense. Despite scoffing at him, Akane looks slightly happy. They talk about this and that before arriving at school. Akane merrily opens the door to class.
Good morning.
Good morning. But only after he says this does Kyoji realize something. He can walk into class today without overthinking it because he's coming in with Akane. Ohayo! Oh, ohayo! People call out to him from around the class, although he brusquely responds to their greetings. He marvels at how relaxed he feels about doing so. Hey, Kyoji, good morning. Shinta approaches him. He immediately gives Kyoji an elbow. Ow! What'd you do that for? Hey, why'd you come to school with Kazuyagi, eh? No reason, really. Ow, stop it, you ass! Stop poking me! Kyoji retaliates by tickling Shinta under his arms, causing him to let out an exaggerated shout. Ah, stop it, don't!
What, are you two stupid?
Akane tries to give the two of them a disapproving look, but her large brown eyes are full of amusement. Those are brown? Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Shinta looks up at Kyoji even though the two of them struggle with each other. I ran into the Sandman earlier. He said that he has no homeroom today. Also, we were supposed to have math today during the first period, but there's a staff meeting, so we'll all have self-study instead. Did something happen? I don't know. Maybe it's got something to do with Saito from the class next door. What's a kid from another class have to do with this?
Hey, I don't know either. Did something happen?
Akane leans forward to listen. Aoi is standing behind her. Well, you know Saito from Class B? They saw her big sister went missing. Missing? Yeah, she's the third person to go missing at this point. Shinta holds up 3 fingers as he says this. We get it! And you told me about the other two the other day when you were talking about the girls gone missing. Yep, that's them. Speaking of, I never finished that story, right?
I think the first two were primary schoolers and high schooler, right? They haven't found them yet.
Connie asked, furrowing her brows.
Nope, they're probably discussing if they need to have us coming to and leaving from school in groups or something.
Staying in groups? Come on. We're no primary schoolers, and don't you say there's a chance they all just ran away from home? Did he say that? I don't know. I feel like if there's potentially a kidnapper, you'd want to stay in pairs.
Yeah, I don't know. They have to go that far. I don't think they have to go that far.
Everybody mumbles in agreement with Kyoji.
But there are rumors about people seeing suspicious figures.
What kind of suspicious figures?
I don't know. People just say they've seen some suspicious-looking man walking around in the area. Yeah, my kid brothers are telling stories about how he's a kidnapper.
Kyoji pensively crosses his arms. But, like, we don't know if that weird guy has anything to do with the disappearances, right?
Right. It wasn't the second girl that went missing not from this town. I heard she came here from a neighboring town to hang out.
It's not like we know for sure that something's happening in this town in particular.
Kika. Is that how you say your name? Kika says in a clear voice, her bag dangling from her right hand. She places it on her desk before returning to the conversation.
But there's the mysterious way the first girl went missing. It doesn't look like a crime or like she ran away from home. Some old people are saying evil spirits snatched her away.
If you ask me, it sounds like they just got lost or ran away from home.
But I mean, it's a grade schooler, and she went missing, all weird like that.
Oh yeah, you never finished your story yesterday, so how did it end?
Right, I never did finish it, so,
Shinta's about to resume when suddenly a familiar, shrill voice cuts him off.
The kidnapper's so scary, Mew. Why did they come after us, Mew?
Eh?
You're cute, Marina-chan, so you're definitely going after you. At least I'm safe that way.
Huh?
You never know, buddy. Maybe they'll go after you
Because of how buxom you are. What is buxom?
That's right, Mishan. You have big boobs, but not me. I'm all skin and bone, so I'll be fine.
Did her face change? Did all their faces change? I think they did, actually, a little bit. Oh! Yeah, okay. Never mind. Koji rubs his eyes a few times. What did he just see? They're all back to normal now. What kind of world is he in? Did his eyes or head go crazy? It feels like there's a strange filter over what he's seeing. Or maybe that vision he saw just now was the real world, and what he's seeing right now is fake. No, that can't be.
That's not true, Mew. You're slamming up nice figures, so you're definitely in danger too. Mommy-chan. She's right, don't let her guard down, but you know we're all in danger.
It will definitely come for us.
Who's Marina? Is that...
Sadishi-sama will save us, Mew. Sadishi-sama will save us.
Sadishi-sama will save us.
He can't deny that what he just saw was technically possible. No, it was just too absurd to be real, he thinks. Kyoji fearfully looks around. Everyone else is acting like nothing's out of the ordinary. It couldn't be, right? He speaks his question out loud, hoping for a response. Akane gives him a casual reply. Well,
I guess that's her idea then, of individuality.
It's not individuality, it's just gross.
no one else thinks this is strange. Something's wrong with my eyes for sure. Or maybe he's just going crazy. Choji then hears the sound of the door opening. A young teacher, seemingly the deputy teacher, peeks inside.
You there! Weren't you told this is a self-study time? Do your assignments!
That's some odd filter cast over them for sure. It's all a dream, and he'll definitely wake up in a minute. Yes, so he should just forget about it. Kyoji cracks a dry smile. I left without a choice. All of them return to their seats and start working on the handouts the deputy teacher just gave them. I'll be back. I gotta pee really, really bad and I want another beer.
Me, 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 me.
Left without a choice, all of them return to their seats and start working on the handouts the deputy teacher gave them. But still, Kyoji can't quite shake off his anxiety. Wait, was this the first or second girl that disappeared so strangely? It feels like every time he tries to talk about this with Shinta, someone gives in the way before he can hear all the details. Kyoji should probably ask him about it after class. But that said, he can't help but feel wary about asking more directly about this matter. He's never met this person from Class B, but asking about how their family member went missing might seem disrespectful. After quickly finishing his handout, Kyoji scoots his chair over to Shinta's. Hey, Kyoji, you done already? Shinta looks up at him. I'm pretty good at math. Oh, right. You were good at math back then, too. And you were bad at it, right? Oh, I remember now. You could never remember the multiplication table past 7 and started crying in the middle of class, right? Please, just let me forget about that. Didn't you just say that you don't like people bringing up the past, you dork? Yamiko and Akane had been making fun of him earlier with this morning, so doing it to someone else for a change feels sweet. You're just vindictive, bro. To poor little Shinta, bro. He's my baby boy. Kyoji merrily leans towards Shinta. Aha ha. Want me to tutor you, man? You would? Shinta's eyes sparkle, but Kyoji sticks an index finger in his direction. As long as you buy me a burger for every question I solve for you. What? You want me to buy you stuff? Well, sorry, I'm short of my allowance, so fine, I'll solve it myself. Kyoji smiles before moving away from Shinta. It doesn't look like Shinta's in a mood to talk about the disappearances right now. I'm bored. Is there anyone else I can talk to? Akane looks kind of worried. Come to think of it, Akane was never good at math, just like Shinta. Kyoji remembers that she's also struggled to memorize the multiplication table just like Shinta. She didn't end up bawling about it, but the teacher did leave her in class until lunch break because of it. He casually approaches her. She's holding her head while glaring at the page, so intentionally she doesn't even notice his approach. Hey. Eventually fed up with her failing to notice him, Kyoji moves in close before calling out to her, causing her to jolt in her seat.
Wow! When did you get there?
I've been standing here for a while now.
Don't startle me, jeez! You almost gave me a heart attack!
Looks like you're struggling. The seat in front of her is empty, so he pulls it over and sits down. Akane frowns.
I guess. What about you, though? Done already?
Yeah, I mean, I was always good at math, but we already went over this at my old school.
Must be nice.
Akane looks genuinely jealous. Say that 5 times fast.
I'm sure someone who gets this stuff won't understand, but not being able to wrap your head around this is really, really, really annoying. I just have to keep staring at this blank answer sheet, wondering when will I be free from this suffering? Do you know what it's like having to live with this kind of fear, do you?
Shh. You're being loud. A few people around the classroom are chuckling. A few people have already gotten out of their seats like Kyoji has, and another few have huddled up in groups to work together, but this room is mostly quiet. Kyoji leans towards Akane. Let me help you out.
Huh?
What? You don't want me to? Akane vigorously shakes her head.
No, it's not that. I appreciate it.
But I'll only teach you how to solve them. You have to actually solve them on your own.
Thank you.
Akane grins at him. Seeing her so happy is a relief for some reason. Wait, you can't even solve basic problems like this? Take out your textbook. Come on. See? You're supposed to use this formula here. When Akane opens up her textbook, Kyoji comes in beside her, peering down at it together with her. Oh, it's Kyoji. Ah!
What is it?
Kyoji reflexively pulls away. Akane looks at him with wide, dubious eyes. It's nothing. He gives her a curt reply, but his heart's beating fast in his chest. I guess women change this much in 3 years, yes? Yes. It feels very strange to realize this. Classes are back to normal after school period, which is PE. The boys' PE teacher is at the meeting, so they have to do self-study again. Having more self-study is nice, but while Kyoji's good at math, academic PE theory isn't very interesting. The girls are in the middle of doing short-distance sprints. The sound of their cheerful voices streams into the classroom through the window. Who's running right now? Kyoji looks out the sports ground, focusing his vision on a figure that stands out to him. What he sees impresses him a bit. Wow, Akane's pretty fast. First to cross the finish line is Akane, it seems. The first two. Her hair, which has been tied up, waves with every step. Isn't her hair always tied up? In second place is Kika. It looks like she's talking to Akane about something. And lagging behind them at the end of the group, despite it being a simple 100-meter dash, is Ayo. Akane was always a fast runner, to the point where she was a match for the boys when it came to racing. I don't get that, bro. Isn't running just fucking running? Whenever she ran, Kyoji always felt like he was watching one of those wildlife documentaries on TV. Kazuyagi really is quick on her feet, huh? Yeah, she is. Huh? Kyoji looks up at Shinta, who showed up behind him at some point. Where did that come from? I mean, you were staring at Kazuyagi the whole time. Not really. He replies curtly, despite how quickly his heart is beating. He really hopes that his surprise isn't showing on his face. You don't have to hide it, man. You've always gotten along with Kazuyagi. Well, we are childhood friends. He has known her for as long as he can remember. Their old albums have a picture of them together in diapers. That picture shows him bawling, apparently because Akane was picking on him at that time. Thinking about it makes him feel pretty humiliated back then. Akane was larger than him. So it's because you're childhood friends. What? Oh, nothing. Shinta smirks, his expression brimming with meaning. What's your problem? If you got something to say, just say it. I just think that friendship is a beautiful thing, is all. Shinta, you're acting like an old man. Heh. Kyoji cocks his head, surprised. But seriously, Koji, you should watch out. Shadashima's finally gonna try to mess with you. Oh, really? Shadashima keeps hitting on Kazuyagi, so he definitely thinks you're in his way because of how you and her get along so well. Oh, trust me, I know that well enough already. Shadashima said so after all. Kyoji cocks his head, surprised. Speaking of, I haven't seen any of Shadashima's lackeys since then. According to his parents, Shadashima is currently recovering at home, but that doesn't explain why his friends aren't at school. None of them were so much as scratched in the brawl. Shinta scoffs. Those guys are always playing hooky. They probably ditched school because Shadashima's not coming. Hope they never show up to school again, deadbeats. Gyoji, what's going too far? That's going too far. If the Sandman hears you say stuff like that, he'll give you another scolding. But honestly, I feel the same way. Kyoji and Shinta exchange smiles. In the end, the school buzzed with energy all day long. Classroom was constantly restless, full of endless whispers. The teacher only ever gave them half-hearted scoldings before climbing back up again.
I guess the teachers are creeped out by this too.
When Kiki whispers that out loud, Kyoji nods in agreement. Unexplained disappearances happening back to back in such a small town, and rumors of a suspicious person lurking around, anyone would be terrified. During homeroom at the end of the day, the Sandman warned them in his usual sleepy voice. He told them to travel in groups with other students going in the same direction, to avoid taking any detours and not to walk around once night falls. The incidents aren't yet serious enough for them to try and enforce their instructions, but parents might start complaining if the school doesn't do anything. For now, the teachers are just warning them to be careful. Maybe Kyoji's reading too much into things, but the Sandman's tone gives him the impression the teachers must have discussed it amongst themselves.
So, we can go back home after we part ways?
He can hear Aoi whispering to Akane. Her question honestly strikes him as pretty good.
Okay, time for club practice.
As soon as his homeroom ends, Shinta reaches for her sports bag. Oh, right. What club are you in? Saka. Saka?
Oyo! We got a tournament coming up, so we can't take any time off. Our advisor said he'd give us a ride home in his car.
Ooh, never mind. This surprises Kyoji a bit. Although Shinta was already interested in soccer, Kyoji seems to remember him playing baseball as a kid. When Kyoji asks him about this, Shinta barely puffs up his chest.
Well, at this school, members of the baseball team have to shave their heads, and I can't do that.
So that's your reason?
What? That's not a good reason? Ah, wait. I gotta get going. Bye, Kyoji. See you tomorrow.
Is that real? That's kind of, I don't know. That's kind of weird. I'd say that's a weird thing for a school to enforce. But hey, I'm not Japanese. With that, Shinta hurries out of the classroom. Shinta, trying to be popular, huh? When did he mature like this?
Believe it or not, Maki-kun is pretty popular.
Akane chimes in, her bag in hand. Shinta, really?
Yeah, some kind of underclassman girl says he's kind and the upperclassmen think he's cute.
Wow, Shinta's got that going for him, huh? Shinta helped Kyoji with his pranks when they were little so girls would avoid him like the plague. I guess some things do change.
Like you can talk, but forget that. Let's go home.
Huh? The way Akane casually invites him to go home with her surprises him so much he stops to stare at her. Her cheeks turn a bit red as she starts speaking very quickly.
I mean, the teacher said we should walk together if we're going the same way.
Bitch, just spit it out. We know you like me, okay? We know you like me. It's true that Akane's house is the same direction as his Yeah, let's go back. Kyoji scratches the tip of his nose. Akane's face flushes happily. He heads to the school gate with Akane. Some people are going home in large groups, but most people are in groups of 2 or 3, much like Kyoji. None of their faces look terribly concerned. If anything, they look excited. They all feel like the incidents aren't their problem. Kyoji feels the same way they do, of course. If anything, the fact he's walking home with Akane in public feels like a much bigger deal. But oddly enough, it doesn't feel bad at all. Just as he gives Akane a sidelong glance, Akane suddenly looks at him as well. Both of them avert their gaze at the same time, like they've just seen something they shouldn't. Ah, the sports ground sure is empty today.
Yeah, I think only the soccer teams are practicing today.
Looks like that. Oh, there's Shinta. Shinta notices the two of them and waves. The ball comes flying toward him from behind, hitting him in the head and making him stagger forward. He pulls himself together and starts chasing around the boy who kicked the ball at him. Kyoji and Akane exchange looks and laughs wistfully. I see Shinta's as peppy as ever.
Maki-kun's always like that. He's a lot nicer to girls than he used to be.
He is? Really? They continue walking toward the school gate. Kyoji realizes that talking about other people is helping him calm down. They continue making jokes at Shinta. He is bricked up right now, isn't he? So basically, Shinta told me that all that's left is to head home. Or so he thought. But as soon as he steps out from the gate, someone grabs him by the arm. It's Shimashita, bro. Oh, no, it's not actually.
Kyojin!
Whoa, Yamiko-san, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? That's rude. Didn't I tell you that I'll be having you help me gather materials for my article today?
Wait, hold on just a minute. You basically forced me into that promise. You even made me ask to let you help you.
Are you off to work after this, Yamiko Oni-chan?
Akane chimes in from the side.
Ah, Akane-chan, as cute as ever. Ah, stop it, Yamiko Oni-chan. You're always so good at compliments. But you said something about collecting materials? You know, there are old ruins in this town. I want to look into them. Wow, that sounds interesting.
Seeing Akane's enthusiastic reaction, Kyoji suddenly realizes something. Oh, right, Yamiko-san, I can't actually help you today. We were told to go home in groups whenever possible.
In groups? Is it because of the disappearance?
Right, I have to walk home, you see. He points at Akane and goes red in the face. Yamiko wags a finger at him.
Yamiko-chan. Kyo-chan, you have the wrong idea here. This isn't a date or anything. You have to watch out for yourself, too.
I'll be fine. I'm a guy. Only women have been going missing, right?
We don't know that yet. We don't know that yet. Criminals like that think in ways normal people like us can't predict. We don't know that yet. Criminals like that and think in ways that normal people can't predict yet.
Okay, cut this part out. I'm doing that line read again, okay? Sorry for the text message chime. Alright.
We don't know that yet. Criminals like that think in ways normal people like us can't predict. Who knows when the culprit will decide when you're into boys now, and then someone like you gets gobbled up.
Stop that! Don't say stuff like gobbled up! I can't take you seriously when you say stuff like that. Kyoji feels terribly tired all of a sudden.
But you're right. Then how about this? Akane-chan, do you want to come with us? Huh? Come with you to gather materials? Can I?
Kane's face lights up.
Of course. And once we're done gathering materials, Kyoji and I will walk home together.
Looking quite happy, Akane enthusiastically nods her head. You really want to come with us? That's weird.
Helping out with writing for a magazine sounds really cool.
She calls it a magazine, but it's a third-rate occult mag. Oh, wow, wow, wow! Kyoji calls out in pain as someone pulls hard on his ear.
Now that he's decided, let's get going.
Yamiko walks off, leading the group. With Yamiko in the lead, they go up the mountain trail behind the school. The area is surrounded by thick, heavy trees. Now that it's after school, it's much darker here than it was in the morning. The sun still filters through the foliage, though casting dots of light on the exposed earth. Akane has been sticking close to Yamiko since they came here. Kyoji slowly totters after them while the two women happily chatter. You can hear Akane's cheerful voice coming from ahead of them.
Hey, Yamiko Oni-chan, what are you looking into right now? Right now I'm looking into legends here in Kurihito City. The man-eating demon and the Pillar of Light. And the Pillar of Light. The man-eating demon and the Pillar of Light? I've been here all my life and I've never heard of those things. They're old legends, unknown to most people.
Yamiko punctuates her words with an ominous chortle.
Oh, that sounds interesting. What sort of story behind them? Well...
Yamiko lowers her voice into a pretentious whisper. Oh, no! Hold on, I'm gonna read that.
The story dates back to the Kamahara period, a period as the Junko or the early 13th century where an earthquake is here.
You're talking kind of weird, Yamiko Oni-chan.
If I talk normally, I'd ruin the mood, right? But, oh well. Apparently, it was a pretty major earthquake. Apparently there's an active fault in this area. After that earthquake happened, they discovered a cave. There used to be a small village near the cave. At first, the villagers thought the cave was created because of earthquakes. But once they set foot in the cave, they found an old altar inside. None of the villagers knew where the altar originated from, but they assumed it must have some history behind it. Because of that, they decided to worship it. However, the people that walked into the cave started disappearing one by one, and soon enough the cave became known as the place that spirits people away. The disappearances continued even after that, and the people who went missing never turned up again. The altar came to be known as not as a sacred site, but as a cursed place to be avoided. That's why they believe no one knew about the place before the earthquake unearthed it. And so, the villagers decided to seal the cave so it would be hidden away once more. But after a few years after that, on one rainy day, a terrible incident happened.
As if on cue, the area around them grows darker. Yamiko lowers her voice now that they're on the mountain trail. The curtain of thick greenery and branches blocks off even more of the sunlight. The exposed soil on the trail has strong, moist smell. The roots of the trees sticking out from the ground suddenly look eerily like exposed ribs.
What kind of terrible incident?
Akane hugs her bag, her expression frightened, yet still urges Yamiko to continue.
It was dark that morning. As the rain continued to fall, the thick clouds above meant the village was dark at night, even at the height of noon. But suddenly, the whole village became bright. The villagers looked outside, curious to see what happened, and saw the mountain. The same Mount Nishimori we're on right now. A large pillar of light shot up from the mountain's side towards the heavens.
Maybe it was just a bolt of lightning. Yamiko shakes her head.
They say there wasn't any sound, and the village was at the foot of the mountain, so if it was lightning, the thunder would have been terribly loud. And then, the day after the pillar of light appeared, a woman on her way back from the field spotted a man standing on the footpath where the rice fields. That man had quite a terrible reputation in the village. He spent his days stealing and pulling terrible pranks on the girls. A real ne'er-do-well. So at first, the woman passed him by, while pretending not to notice he was there. But then, she realized something was strange about the man. Whether he came from, his clothes were covered in filth, making for a very pitiful sight. His hair was unkempt, and he looked like he had become 10 years older. But strangest of all, he stood there drooling at the mouth, and his eyes blank as he kept mumbling incoherent words. Did he go insane? That's right, and not just that. Lying next to the man was the gruesome, half-eaten human corpse.
She said it. Akane lets out a shrill shriek as the echo throughout the mountain trail. Hugging her bag, she takes a step back.
What the heck? Why?
Who knows? The madman ended up dying soon after. I'm gonna be right back. My dog wants to go outside.
Who knows? That madman ended up dying soon after. But before he died, the man regained his sanity for a moment and said this. That was a passage to another world. By that, do you mean the cave? Yes. At the time, there was a rumor among the village's youth that there was treasure at the end of the cave. In all likelihood, that man tried to exploit the cave in search of it. Before long, people began to say that the altar in the cave was devoted to a banning demon. The villagers sought to exorcise the demon. But every attempt only ended with the demon killing the attackers in turn. The corpse of the warriors who boasted they would be the ones to slay the demon were discovered half-eaten around the village. The well was full of legs, intestines dangled from the caves, and the puddles beside the roads were covered in blood. A constant stench hung over the village, and maggots crawled over their bodies. The village became like an image of hell. Whoa! Gruesome!
Gruesome indeed. Koji knows it's just a legend and there's no way to say if it really happened, but hearing that something so scary might have once happened here, Kyoji gets goosebumps. Well, the villagers decided
to worship the man-eating demon as a god.
Akane looks baffled.
They decided to worship a demon as a god?
Is it like when Yasen came back to life and became Guardman?
Well, something like that. Your analogy is a lot more boring, though. But even that couldn't stop the demon's rampage. They even tried offering it sacrifices, but not even those changed anything. So, how did it all end? Well, the same way these kinds of stories usually do. A traveling aesthetic monk used his divine power to seal the demon, and the village lived happily ever after.
Seems that's where the story ends. Yamiko's voice instantly returns to its normal tone. Well, that was a pretty weak ending to the story.
Oh, don't say that. It's pretty gruesome as folks' tales go. Yeah, I was really scared.
Akane is still tightly hugging her bag. You don't have to listen if you were that scared. You didn't have to listen if you were that scared.
You just don't get it. I wanted to hear the story because it's scary. That's right. People are creatures that consume excitement, and Abize earnestly states that situations have desire, right?
Oh my god.
Right?
I really don't get it. The two of them speak almost as one. Kyoji only stares at them, puzzled. How can women get so terrified by scary stories like that, yet like them so much at the same time? Women. But wait, if no one knows that story anymore, where did you hear about it?
Well, let's just say it's because I'm a pro. I use my leads to find the descendants of the head priest who had used to run the temple around here. They showed me the ancient scripts they had.
There was a temple around here? The only relevant place Kyojo can think of around here is a large temple in the middle of town. It's rather large and impressive to the point where he was wondered if they're somehow concealing something shady. Temples don't usually look so prosperous.
Well, a lot of temples fell into ruin after the anti-Buddhist movement during the Meiji period. Don't they teach you that in history class? We've gotten to the Meiji period yet. We haven't gotten there yet. I can definitely remember graduating before getting to the end of the textbook.
Yamiko says this with a nostalgic look on her eyes. Once her usual expression returns, she takes a look around.
All right. We're going to have to climb up there.
Yamiko stops in front of the Nishimori Shrine's Torii Gate. Nishimori Shrine's Torii Gate.
You're going to investigate here?
Akane's expression clouds over as she speaks. Kyoji also finds himself holding his breath. Here, of all places? The memory is still fresh enough that coming here after 3 years is enough to vividly conjure up the painful memory. If Kyoji feels this way, Akane probably has it even worse. Some part of him wishes that Akane could have just forgotten about it, but now that he looks at her, it's clear she hasn't forgotten anything. Even if she wanted to, she'd never forget it.
Well, we won't be going to the shrine itself. We'll cut through the temple grounds and go deeper into the mountain.
At first, Yamiko doesn't seem to notice how the two of them look, but then she says,
What's wrong, you two? You look pale.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. Let's get going. Yamiko, Oni-chan, climbing all the way up there these stairs is pretty exhausting.
With that said, Akane cheerfully starts climbing up the old stone stairs.
You sure are energetic, Akane-chan. Oh, Kyo-chan?
What? As they slowly walk up the staircase behind Akane, Yamiko asks him with their usual tone.
Did something maybe happen between you two here?
Not really. This place has nothing to do with us.
Oh, phooey. What a boring answer. But, oh well. We're almost there. We're almost all the way up.
The stairs, crawling around the mountainside, are crudely made from logs embedded into the ground. The trees overhead obscure the path before them as setting sun shines down. Yamiko's objective is directly behind Nishimori Shrine. They go around the main shrine building and climb up a path behind it. After about a 5-minute walk, they discover an old Hakora. The miniature shrine is so small they could probably pick it up. I didn't know there was something like this back here.
Me neither. What is this supposed to be for?
Akane looks around. Her body had stiffened as little as they went around the shrine's main building, but now she seems to back to her usual self. Yamiko squats in front of the Hakora and peers through the crumbling bars.
Hey, you think this Sakura has to do with the story? Yes, at least that's what they say.
Yamiko's responses feels oddly unreliable. Kyoji and Akane exchange glances. So, Yamiko-san, what am I supposed to be doing here?
Well, for the time being, just hang around here and let me know if you find anything strange, okay?
What? That's a pretty useless job.
If I need you for anything, I'll call you. You have your cell phone on you, right?
Well, yeah, but...
I'm counting on you then.
Yamiko pulls out a digital camera from the bag hanging from her shoulder.
Are you gonna be alright on your own now? If something happens, you'll be in danger.
Akane asks Yamiko concerned, but Yamiko just dismissively waves her hand.
Oh, I'll be fine. I don't know how long it'll be until I'm done, and if some weirdos appear, I'll be sure to scream. You just take a walk around here with Kyo-chan, okay?
What are we gonna do, bro? We're like 14. Or how old are we? We're like 16, 18, I don't know, 17. We're like, whatever, I don't know. Two of them leave their bags with Yamiko and start looking around the area. Seriously? This is dumb. Why did she even bring me along for this?
She already told you, it's so she'll be there just in case something happens, right?
Like what? Like she gets fucking kidnapped.
I don't know, don't ask me. Heavy lifting, I guess.
Having lifting, huh? If that's the case, he can only sigh in exasperation. They aimlessly walk around the thicket. There's no real trail to speak of, but there is a line across the ground that seems to have been trodden on, implying that people do come this way. The temple's main building is to their lower left, with its black rooftop visible from between the trees. Kyoji and Akane both try not to look in that direction. Looking up at the sky, he notices that rain clouds have suddenly started to gather. The branches above them here in the thicket are basically just twigs, allowing him to see the gray sky from them. Didn't the ghost story happen on a rainy day like this? Uh-oh.
Hey, cut it out, that's creepy.
Didn't you say people live for excitement or something? Akane indignantly puts her hands on her hips.
That's got nothing to do with that.
How does it not?
I don't know, it just doesn't.
Why are you getting so mad about it? Because you're a jerk, bro. The ground beneath their feet is covered with fallen dry leaves that make crunching sounds when it's stepped on. Kyoji unintentionally watches as the laces on Akane's sneakers dance with every step she takes. She does look kind of pale. He was quite uneasy when they passed behind the temple's building. But despite that, Kyoji doesn't look around. In particular, he can't bring himself to look at Akane's face. However, he doesn't even have to look at her to feel that the air around here is so thick with tension it almost feels frozen. 13 years, huh? Despite himself being alone with Akane makes him think back to that event. Akane acts normal around him, or at least she tries to, but Kyoji has to ask himself how long can they keep this up? Maybe they should take the chance to just talk about it at some point, but Kyoji doesn't have the faintest clue of what he should say or how to say it. To begin with, he's not sure how he feels about it either. And it'd be stupid to just drag it up if I'm not going to do something about it. Kane doesn't say a word about it herself, but she still sticks close to him like this, so she must feel much the same way. But staying like this just feels wrong. It feels like somewhere in his heart there's this knot he just can't untie. What can he do to change this feeling?
I wonder if it's going to rain.
Akane suddenly says that. Koji looks up again. Indeed, the clouds look heavy with rain. It could start raining at any minute. Well, if it rains, we'll just hurry back to Yamiko-san.
Right, and... oh, what's that?
Akane leans forward trying to look deeper into the trees. What's what?
Over there, in the shadow of the trees. Can't you see something that looks like bricks?
He follows Akane's gaze some 10 meters ahead of them, in a gap between some of the trees further down. It's an object covered by a thick layer of dried leaves and creeping vines. In the gap between the vines and leaves, Kyoji can see what looks like reddish-brown bricks. Brown bricks? It's hard to tell what it is from here, though. It's made of bricks. It probably isn't as old as the story Yamiko told them, but the way the three branches hang over it and the vines coil around it do make for a very eerie atmosphere. Doesn't it look like it's
got a cool story behind it? Let's check it out.
You want to go that far in? The footing here doesn't seem very good. He could try to get there on his own, but he hesitates to take Akane along. The weeds are so thick it's impossible to see the ground beneath. And excuse me. The weeds are so thick it's impossible to see the ground beneath, and since the ground is sloped, even if only gently, it's dangerous to walk over there. Don't! You'll get hurt!
But Yamiko Oni-chan told us to tell her if we discover anything.
Let's just pretend we didn't see it.
Hey, hold on!
When Kyoji tries to ignore it and walk away, Akane grabs his arm.
We can't have that, you know? We came here to help her, you know? Ah!
She immediately lets go of Kyoji's arm like she just touched something sizzling hot.
Anyway, I just want to check what's there, okay?
Her face is a little red. Kyoji is just as flustered. When she held onto his arm, her hand felt much smaller and softer than his. When they were little, they rolled around while entangled with each other all the time, but back then their psyches were basically the same. But now, Kyoji clears his throat and gives Akane a long, discerning look. Is it just me, or is all of this just an excuse because you want to see what's there? Obviously, what? Akane smiles, cocking her head. Fine. I'll go ahead and check it out. I'll see if the footing's safe and come back. You can go after that.
Huh?
Akane stares at him with round eyes, like what he said just took her by surprise.
But that sounds dangerous.
Yeah, that's why I said I'll go first.
Right, but, you know what? Let's go back after all.
She didn't seem to mind when she suggested going there herself, but having Kyoji go first suddenly makes her terribly worried. Because she's embarrassed to see her big fat old ass, Kyoji. I mean, Yamiko-san did ask us to tell her if we find anything, and I'll be the one who sends to check it out when we tell her about this place. It's probably why she had to come here anyway.
But in that case, I'll come with you.
What if we both go there and fall or something?
Look, it's just 10 meters away.
Oh, look, it's just 10 meters away. I'm pretty sure it's safe. If I slip or something, I'll need you to call for help. This explanation seems to placate Akane. You got your phone?
Yeah.
Then let's exchange numbers and email addresses. We should manage that way.
Yeah.
But I think I'll get there just fine. What's your number? Ooh, that's slick, Kyoji. She takes out her cell phone, showing him her number on the screen. It only takes a moment for them to finish exchanging their contact information. I'll go check it out then.
Yeah, be careful.
He nods at Akane before moving into the treacherous weeds. He walks ahead little by little, prodding the ground beneath him with his toes. The scent of the undergrowth fills his nose.
You alright?
Yeah, all good. As he suspects, the ground seems relatively stable and the slope isn't that steep. There's still the risk of running into a snake, but at least it's easy for him to maintain his footing by keeping his hands on the slope. Even so, there's no doubting that the thick weeds are difficult to move through. Having to move through them with a skirt on must be even more unpleasant. It's further than I thought. Even though he estimated that it was only 10 meters away, having to push through these weeds makes it feel like a pretty long distance to go. By the time he gets there, he's exhausted. Seriously? Come on! He waves back to Akane, who's staring at him with a worried look. You can get here by going around that way. There's a trail over there.
Huh? There is?
Yeah, talk about a waste of energy. Oh man, that's funny. Akane hurriedly walks around the thicket.
Wow, you're right.
I guess that makes sense. When you think about it, this thing is definitely man-made, so of course there would be a trail leading to it. He brushes away the cobwebs and weeds that are still clinging to his body.
I guess so. What is this thing after all?
Well, let's check it out. Oof! Kyoji yanks on some of the vines as hard as he can. The force of his pull scatters the piled up dry leaves sitting on top of it, causing Akane to screech in surprise.
Hey, Kyoji, what are you doing, you brute?
What? Sorry, huh? Well, here it is, but I still don't get what this thing is. Oh, it's the well from the ring. Now that the vines covering the object have been torn away, a circular object made of brickwork has been exposed. It's slightly over a meter in diameter and stands about as tall. It seems to be capped by what looks like a concrete lid.
Is this a well?
Is this what wells look like? I thought they were made of wood with a bucket and a pulley over them. Okay.
I guess it's a really old well. My relatives have a well that looks like this.
Akane circles around the other side of the well and points towards the ground.
Here, see? There's some remains of a pillar. There probably used to be a pulley and a bucket here.
Oh! Kyoji carefully examines the spot. He's always taken indoor plumbing for granted, and none of his relatives ever had a well anywhere in their gardens. He's seen wells on TV and in movies, but this is actually his first time seeing a real well in person. I wonder what it's like inside. Let's open it up. Oh my god. There you go.
Don't. What if the ghost of the woman who's looking with long hair comes out?
That's what I said, it's the ring. Where did all those guts you used to have go? A few years ago, you'd be diving headfirst into danger.
And if I don't stop you here, who will?
Kyoji gives the concrete lid a gentle push. Despite how heavy it looks, a bit of force is all it takes to cause the rim of the lid to screech a bit. A proper push seems to be all it takes to move it. Huh? I think I can open this. He pushes a bit harder. The lid moves with surprising ease, making a heavy grinding noise as it does so. Ooh, it does move. Just a little more.
Wow, you're right. What's it like inside?
For everything she said, Akane leans in curiously to look. Hey, Oni-chan, what are you doing? Hearing a sugary voice from behind me, Kyoji jolts.
Whoa!
You scared me. Whoa. Standing behind Kyoji is a girl with a doll-like charm. Long, brightly colored hair that curls in gentle weaves, large, striking eyes, skin that's far too white, like freshly driven snow. The girl's gaze is fixed directly on Kyoji. Wait, this girl! He furrows his brow. It feels like he's met her somewhere before. Where was it? He swallows his surprise. Right on the morning of his first day of school, he passed her by, or at least he thinks he did, on the way there. He thought that it was all a dream, but she's real after all. That realization is almost a relief. Say, didn't I see you the other day?
Hey! What are you chatting up a little girl for?
What? I just said hi to her. Kyoji cheerfully approaches the girl, but Akane stares at him like he's just said something terribly filthy. What are you, stupid? That's not what I'm doing. Hey, don't you remember? I saw you down by the shrine, and I told you something, right? The girl says nothing. She simply grins at him. Sorry, I guess I confused you for someone else. But even so, the girl continues smiling as she stares at Kyoji. I guess it really isn't her. But she feels like her, or at least that's what he thinks. He's not sure because it all happened in a single moment, but those striking eyes of hers and her trailing long hair are like those of that girl, like that illusion he saw the other day. And as Kyoji stares at her puzzled, the girl narrows her eyes. Thump! Kyoji's heart starts beating faster. He's rendered speechless. What's with this girl? He narrowed his eyes. His red lips curled into a smirk, an expression that looked strangely ecstatic. She's a child. She looks like a child, so she must be. But what is this strange aura around her?
Hey, what's wrong with you? You start with the pickup lines only to calm up bummer?
What? I didn't think I did. I thought I just said hey. Akane cracks a wry smile and, as one does with a child, kneels down to look at the girl at eye level. Get on your knees, get on their level, speak with them. That's weird.
I'm sorry, he's being a little weird. Do you live around here? Where are your mom and Dad?
The girl doesn't answer her question, but Akane patiently and gently speaks to her. Kyoji stands frozen in place, incapable of moving even an inch. He's transfixed by her large eyes. He feels like a deer staring into headlights. Thank you.
What's your name?
At this point, even Akane has to knit her brow.
What school do you go to?
At this point, the girl's small, thin lips firmly part. With a voice as sweet as honey, she spits her words like venom.
Shut your trap already.
Huh? Now Akane is just as disturbed as Kyoji. She gets to her feet with a start, like she can't believe what she just heard. As Akane stares at her shocked, the girl continues to twist the knife.
You annoying busybody. What do you think? Sticking your nose where it doesn't belong makes you a saint?
Hey, what are you saying?
You're annoying. You know that? Everyone else doesn't feel comfortable telling you that.
Akane's face flushes, the girl's lips become even redder as they curl into a crescent sneer. Let's get out of here, Akane. Kyoji finds his voice again. He grabs Akane by the arm.
But...
Forget it. Let's just get out of here. He tugs on Akane's arm, dragging her away from the girl. But because of the tall weeds crowding around them, his path takes him so close to the girl that his body brushes against hers. The moment he does, he feels a shiver shoot down his spine. Once they make it a short distance away, he throws a glance over his shoulder back at the girl. She's far away. Why does this girl look so distant? It looks like there's a layer of film covering her body, just a few centimeters over her skin, that isolates her from the rest of the world. Something strange, even alien, like the shimmering waves of a mirage, or even powerful magnetism, surrounds her. It's like the area around her and her alone is at the bottom of the ocean. On top of that, it feels like her visage is slowly melting into the slender trees of the woods. No, ever since she appeared, the woods themselves have felt foreign and different. Looking at her, she realizes she's gazing straight back at him.
My name is Yuka. Remember that.
Huh? Kyoji stops in his tracks. What's wrong?
What's wrong?
That girl just said, my name is Yuka.
Hey, cut that out. She didn't say anything.
Don't lie to me. I know I just heard the same.
I'm telling you, she didn't say anything.
Akane calls out, frightened. But that can't be. The girl is standing next to the world, grinning at him. Let's just go. Kyoji can't find it in himself to say anything else. He can't help but think that the voice identified the girl as Yuka had sounded entirely without his head. He can't help but think the voice identifying the girl as Yuka had sounded entirely within his head. He silently goes back to the way they came earlier. His pace is rushed in his desperation to get as far away from the girl as possible. Some part of him feels absurd for acting this way. She's just an adorable little girl. Pause. But he can't help but feel terribly afraid of her. It's cold. It feels like the only thing he can rely on is the warmth of the hand he's holding. Despite this, he's afraid to turn around and look at Akane, who should be walking around together with him. It feels as though if he were to look behind him, Akane might turn into a pillar of salt, as though his gaze might cause her to morph into something else entirely. He read a story like that in a book once. Yeah, the Bible. Right now, it's the only thing he can think about. Only after frantically walking ahead for a while does light finally shine down once more. They made it back to the clearing where the Hokora is.
Welcome back. Did you find something?
Yamiko, Oni-chan.
Akane finally speaks up. Their clasped hands finally loosen, causing them to naturally release each other.
What's wrong? Are you two making such weird faces?
Normally, Kyoji can't take anything Yamiko says seriously because of her voice, but this time he's grateful for how it lightens the mood. Kyoji approaches her with a tired smile. It's nothing serious, really. We just found an old well over there.
Oh, well, do you mean the one made of bricks?
Yeah, that's the one. You know about it?
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous, so you shouldn't hang around there, okay?
Why is it dangerous?
Well, if it's dangerous, maybe we should have told Yuka-chan to stay away from it too.
Akane mumbles. Wait, Akane, what? You said you didn't hear her name.
I didn't, but you did. Maybe I just missed it.
I guess that might be true. Logically speaking, that should be what happened, but it must be. But somehow it doesn't sit well with him. Thinking about it further only puts him in the dark mood.
Who's Yuka-chan?
We ran into her near the old well a minute ago. She's this creepy, nasty brat.
She was cute.
Looked cute, maybe, but she said nasty things to you.
I mean, yeah, but...
Yamiko giggles and glances at Kyoji. What are you giggling for? It's creepy.
Oh, nothing. Forget it. Let's head back. Are you done gathering data? Well, I figure I won't find anything else here, and I'm getting hungry.
Me too. Kyoji slumps over, exhausted. You sound like a slacker. Why'd you even call me here?
Just in case I needed some heavy lifting done.
So, that was your reason, huh?
You don't like it? Because it's not like you didn't get anything out of it.
Huh? What are you talking about?
There, let's head back then.
Whoa. After he gets home, Kyoji moodily plays with the convenience store spaghetti Yamiko got them on the way back. Damn it! Why did you have to talk to Akane's mom about our old stories again?
Well, that's because the stories about you are also funny.
Aw, shut up! Everyone has a stupid story or two from back when they were a stupid kid.
But in your case, it's not just one or two stories. There's 3, 4, 5, or 6.
Just shut up!
Oh, I just remembered a good one. Back when you were in 1st grade, you went swimming at the beach, and after that, in the bath.
Oh! No, stop it! Kyoji desperately cuts off her words, causing Yamiko to cackle.
Oh, come on. Those stories only ever come up because Akane-chan's mom likes you so much.
So what if she does?
Well, if your girlfriend's mom like you, it should make things easier for you to later down the line.
Girlfriend? Kane? Yamiko's eyes narrow. She stuffs her cheeks with some kind of new instant curry called extra spicy Bombay curry with red peppers and milk chocolate.
I mean, it sure looks like you two have made some progress.
What kind of progress? There's nothing between us. Kyoji says even more nervously as she keeps digging into his spaghetti.
Oh, you can't fool me, Yamiko-san. Sees through all.
And what exactly did you see?
Well, I saw you two holding hands.
That's because the footing was bad. That's all.
And you still call each other by your given names, like you used to.
That doesn't mean anything. What does it matter if we call each other anyway?
Listen, you know what youth is. It's the rumbling of the sea in the past. It's the songs you sing together way back when. It's red sunsets you watch together.
What the heck does any of that mean? Forget all that. Why do you keep eating all that gross stuff? What the hell is curry with milk chocolate? How can you get yourself to eat that?
What? Haven't you heard of it before, Kyo-chan? Plenty of people like chocolate as a secret spice for their curry.
For real? Even so, what's with that color? I've never seen curry this red before.
Well, it's extra spicy. It really is Bombay.
According to Yamiko, Bombay meant kill him. Kyoji had a taste of the curry earlier. It tasted absurd. Rancid stuff.
You say some pretty outdated words, Kyo-san. Who taught you that?
Dad and his period dramas.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yamiko laughs loudly as she continues to feast on her overly spicy curry. He practices the guitar as his daily routine before crawling into bed. When he paused by Yamiko's room earlier, there was still a faint light coming from inside. It looked like she was busy working. Given how flightly she usually is, I don't know what that means. Kyoji does have to wonder how she makes a living. What, like Dumb? He was with her on their field research today, but he still has no idea what she actually does. Oh, and that Yuka girl. What was her problem? She was a strange girl for sure that tried talking to her, but she just stayed quiet and kept staring at Kyoji the whole time. And when she did say something, it was all nasty stuff. But with that in mind, whoa, what the fuck was that, bro? That girl scared him, but at the same time, something in those large eyes sucked him in. He buries his face in his pillow. The girl didn't confirm or deny it, but that illusion he saw on the morning of his first day at school must have been her, must have been Yuka. He's oddly sure of that. But the part when she disappeared immediately after must have been some kind of mistake on his behalf. There were a lot of weeds in the area, which would offer a small girl like her plenty of places to hide in. She was a strange air around her for sure, but it was probably just like today when she said her name. Koji thought only he could hear it, but everyone else must have just misheard it. She might be a little strange and foul-mouthed, but she's just a little girl. Nothing strange happened. He keeps telling himself that. As he lies in the dark room, troubled by these thoughts, it feels like thinking about Yuka makes the room a good degree or two colder. Okay, I think I'm going to end it there. I think it's a pretty good place to stop it. Yeah, I think I don't know, it's pretty cool so far. That's all I really have to say about it. All right, peace.